Hi, everyone. Welcome to Hack to the Future. My name is Kat. I'll be leading the live stream. So we're excited to invite you to Hack to the Future. This is a live stream event for developers where we'll be speaking about MetisDAO Foundation and its EcoNodes, and the hackathon preparation and resources, as well as going the extra mile of launching your blockchain startup. So as we go through the program, there will be a few Nuvo badges that you'll be able to collect after each segment. Collect all of them for a chance to receive a VIP pass to ETHToronto Futurist Conference on August 15th to 16th, which is next week, or for a chance to win a VIP swag directly shipped to you. So for now, first, we have Elena Sinandikova. She's a co-founder in DC for education at MetisDAO Foundation, and she's also the co-founder of Cryptochicks. She drove the development of the Metis Smart Layer 2, Koris, Nuvo, P1X, and the ZKM EcoNodes, impacting millions worldwide in the Web3 economy. So first, we will have...
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. My name is Elena Sinandikova. I am co-founder of Cryptochicks and MetisDAO Foundation. And today here I'm going to talk to you about the hack to the future. As you watch this featured recording, I'm on my way back to Toronto, Canada, up in the air to join you all at the ETHToronto and ETHWomen Hackathon and Blockchain Futurist Conference. I couldn't be more thrilled to be part of this incredible events in person, where like-minded individuals came together to explore the boundless potential of blockchain technology. And I sit before you today to share a remarkable journey, one that started right where you are right now, not long ago when I too stood in the shoes of a hackathon participant, eager to learn, create, and be part of something bigger than myself. Little did I know that this very moment would become the beginning of life-changing adventure, an adventure that I believe each one of you can embark on right now. So my story begins back in 2017 when I moved back to Toronto. Actually, not back to Toronto, moved to Toronto from Edmonton, where I worked in Edmonton Police for 9 years, and before I was a consultant at the government agencies. So I was quite accomplished a developer and solutions architect with a very good government job. And something was missing, so I actually moved to Toronto to take on adventure. And my adventure was blockchain. So back in 2017, I joined the hackathon. That was a BlockGeeks hackathon at the moment. And I was a hackathon participant. It was a very scary experience for me. Mind you that I was one of the 4 girls that were there. I was like 200 guys. And I didn't know anything about blockchain at the moment. So basically I had to learn all the blockchain development in 2 weeks right before the hackathon. And my team, and I partnered with my team a little bit before the hackathon. We met a couple of times. It was Anne Connolly, you might know her, and Anton Livadia, very accomplished developer. And back then, he was very, very beginner. And Anne Connolly, she's the founder of many startups, very prominent ones. And as we got together, we decided that we're going to create application on sports memorabilia. When all the sport guys have, baseball bats or, baseball balls and collectors collecting them. So we wanted to create an application for the collectors because it's a big market, and we thought it would be a great idea to do so. So basically I had to learn all blockchain development in 2 weeks because my part was developing backend on the blockchain, which I did actually very good. And we were placed even like 4th or something like that. It was very high. There was lots of judges, big names. Vitalik was there too, one of the judges. And I was actually good. It was quite scary at the beginning, but I met lots of people. And actually the people that I met at this hackathon, then they probably defined my journey a lot. One of the people I met, it was Tracy Leparola, actually, which I later on also connected on Waterloo Hackathon as well. And she, as you know, she's the organizer of the ETHToronto, ETHWomen, and Blockchain Futurist as well. So, this connection with this remarkable woman shaped a lot of my future. So what I'm saying that everyone that you meet at this hackathon that you're going to, please connect, please get their contacts because they might shape your future as well. So, long story short, after this hackathon, I got very excited, and I went on a meetup application, and I filled in the application to become, the meetup organizer. And I wanted to organize the meetup that I called Blockchain for Ladies. And on the first night, when I just opened up this meetup group, 50 people signed up, and that was very, it was kind of very scary for me. It's like, oh my God, 50 people are coming to my first meetup. I called my friend, Natalia Amelin, and asked her, would you like to help me? Because I'm kind of scared. And she said, oh yeah, sure, I will help you. So what we did, we contacted our friends, we organized a place for the first meetup. And at the first meetup, we had like 100 signed ups, but about 50 people showed up. It was women. Different ages, was old women, young women, women with the walkers, women with the canes, young girls. So we basically taught them what blockchain is. And me and Natalia. And there was a lot of kind of light bulbs going on. It's like, oh, aha, this is how blockchain works. So it was very exciting. We were drawing the blockchain on the whiteboard. And lots of women got interested, and we started having such meetups every week, explaining the wallets and exchanges and how to transfer the money safely. We did it in a different places. Well, we did it in different places. We actually get to know and partnered with many people in the space. We get to know a lot of them until one meetup that we held, where actually Tracy Laprulo came, and she said, "Hey, ladies, would you like to organize maybe the first big hackathon for women?" I said, like, wow, hackathon. This is the one that we were on the Blockchicks. We're going to have our own. Oh, wow, this is so scary and exciting. And we went for it. It was, again, without Tracy's help, without help of all the people that we met, we would not be possible, because basically, Tracy took us by the hand and walked us to Mars, and they say, hey, here's the girls. And by that time, we already called ourselves Cryptochicks. So here's the Cryptochicks, and they would like to organize a hackathon here for women. Anyways, we got the space for free at the Mars Center in Toronto, but what we didn't know, that there is a labor bill that we had to pay, and this bill was for 30 grand, 35 grand. And at that time, when we received the bills, like, oh my God, 35,000, we need to get the money somewhere to pay it, because we didn't have them. So I got on the phone and I started calling companies. I got on a LinkedIn and I started texting, basically, searching in the search like blockchain, and texting everyone I could find. We needed to find sponsors. And we also got the girls from the meetup that came, like the girls that came to our first meetup, and we asked them to help. And many of them become our first Cryptochicks. We also had to open up the company, non-profit one. And we become a business all of a sudden. We didn't plan to. All we wanted just to educate women. That's all we wanted to do. No plans to open a business, but it just happened. Again, long story short, all these phone calls, texting on LinkedIn, it paid off, and we got sponsors. We got Royal Bank of Canada, we got IBM, we got Microsoft, we got Accenture, we got Deloitte, we got all those big companies. They actually agreed not only to give us money, but also to bring their women onto the hackathon, so they could get hacking teams. And that was idea of one of the girls that attended our first meetup as well. So again, all these people that came, to this first hackathon that we were in, and to all the following meetups that we organized, they all helped us. So I'm just opening you the ideas on how to shape your future, how to involve those people, how to work with these people. So all the people that you meet at the hackathon, that will be on your team or not maybe on your team, the people that I judge and people that are organizing, they, again, keep in mind that they might shape your future. So hold on to them. People are gold. Again, long story short, our hackathon got a big splash in the news. We got in a big media, big papers, again, printed the stories about us. And we got a call from Drapers University, and they said, oh, Cryptochicks, would you like to come and teach at the Drapers University? So after our hackathon, that was actually in April 2018 in Toronto, we had to fly to California to teach in a Drapers University. So all of a sudden we got famous there, and in there we met people that actually after that opened up chapter of the Cryptochicks in Pakistan, and also held a hackathon there. So you see that all these connections, they all come in together. Our first hackathon of the Cryptochicks, again, because we had all these big companies, IBM, Microsoft judging, they all actually took our winners and they gave them jobs, and they even take some of the projects that were at the hackathon into development, and later on this became kind of like blockchain products of the Microsoft and IBM. So again, big impact just from the small thing, impact in millions. And we started having events, hackathons in every corner of the world. We flew to Australia. We had a hackathon there. We had a hackathon in Pakistan. We had a hackathon in Bahamas. Just recently this year, we went to Mexico. We had an event there in Mexico. So all the chapters started opening up. We were finding people that were willing to open the chapters. So the Cryptochicks spreading all over the world. We also held a hackathon that were online during the COVID. We opened up Cryptochicks Academy, which is the courses for women. We opened up Cryptochicks Hatchery, which is the incubator for the projects that are women creating. So all these programs are starting, piling up. We got sponsors and support. We always can use more, but yeah. So this is the life of the nonprofit organization. And at one of the events, I met my future co-founders of MetisDAO Foundation, Kevin Liu, who probably connected with me on some human level, and he came to me with the idea of creating a MetisDAO Foundation, Metis project. And Metis project meant to create a Web3 economy. And this is what was missing when we were working with Cryptochicks. We needed for our girls some technology base and some framework for them to work and to build in their projects on something. Different ideas were coming from left and right from our girls at Cryptochicks, but we always were suggesting, oh, you have to build on Ethereum, but how to build and where are the developers? All those kind of like were missing pieces. And when Kevin came to me with the Web3 economy, that we're going to build this Web3 economy on our own, layer 2 on our own platform. So that was the missing piece, this platform that we can already have, and we can build all this project on top. And all this project will create the EcoNodes and Web3 economy. And that was, yes, for me. And we started raising money for MetisDAO Foundation. We did a successful raise. We started building our own layer 2, because the existing layer 2s, and layer 2, if you didn't know, this is a scalability solution. Ethereum is too expensive and too slow, but decentralized enough. So we needed a layer 2 on Ethereum scalability solution on top of Ethereum that would be as decentralized as Ethereum, but would be very, very cheap. The transactions are very cheap and very fast. We're going to find the one that of the top that that we can use. So we created our own Metis Smart Layer 2, and we it is already in production for 2 years for now, and we have like over 100 projects that are working on top of it, and we now creating all the other missing parts of the Web3 economy, which we call EcoNodes. So we are in the process of doing that. So you see, from one hackathon at the Block Geeks, all this unfolded, and creating our own platform, like besides even creating the Cryptochicks, a nonprofit, we created the whole Web3 economy, the whole layer 2 where all other projects can work. Now we're going further, we're scaling, creating an EcoNodes. So Metis team was only 100 people at the beginning. At the beginning, of course, it was only like 3 people, but then it grew into 100. But now it increased 5 times, because now we have 5 EcoNodes. So it is growing. It is our Web3 economy is now started working. It starts scaling, and maybe let me share my screen to go over of what we have right now, and at the same time to tell you about the bounties that we have too. And by the way, on the right bottom corner of the screen, there is the claim badge. So you can claim badge of this presentation. So our first bounty is to create a Cryptochicks Academy course. So in at DoorHacks/hackathon/ETHWomen, there is more detailed a description of this bounty. But long story short, you will need to do the market research of which course would be very cool, or very needed at this moment in time, and please create this course. All the details are there on how to create it. You need to write up the curriculum and you need to record the video. So that's basically it for this course. And you will get $1,000 if you win, of course. I'm wishing you to win. The bounty that we put up as a MetisDAO Foundation onto ETHToronto is create the next Metis EcoNode. So you have to do the research of the MetisDAO Foundation, of all the Metis ecosystem, and come up with your EcoNode idea. So what is the EcoNode? EcoNode has to bring users to Metis Web3 ecosystem. It also has to fuel the economy. It means that it has to provide the service, consume the service, or support the capital markets. So any of those three is supporting Web3 economy. Therefore, the EcoNode, your EcoNode idea could win. So take on this bounty. Again, even the idea wins. If you already develop, your DApp or app that can be represented as an EcoNode and also funded by MetisDAO Foundation, it is also excellent, but idea also works. And a very similar bounty that we have for ETHWomen hackathon, and this is bounty ETHWomen, Goddess of Wisdom and Leadership. So we would like to find women, again, all our EcoNodes as women founders. So we are looking for the talented women leaders who we can take as the founders of the next EcoNodes. And we're watching very closely every project that built on ETHWomen, and we would like to get connected to all these talented women. So take up this bounty so we can work closely with you, demonstrate the knowledge of the Metis ecosystem, and show how your project can be part of the Metis Web3 economy. We are looking for the women leaders. And again, this bounty is $1,000 bounty as well. You can also find the details of this bounty at DevRel hackathon ETHWomen, and on the bounty that for the next Metis EcoNode, DevRel.io/hackathon/ETHToronto 2023. All the details of this bounty. And you can connect with me on Twitter, same as the Cryptochicks and MetisDAO Foundation. So these are all the handles that are for the Cryptochicks and MetisDAO Foundation and myself. And you can also text me on LinkedIn. I usually very responsive on LinkedIn, but in order for me to answer your question first and connect you first, please use Hack to the Future phrase so I can actually do the search and I can see that you listen to my speech, and I would reply to you first. And here's the exciting part. We'll have another chance to actually connect and meet in person on August 15th at 2:50 p.m. I'm speaking on behalf of Metis at the Blockchain Futures Conference in Toronto, where you're all, of course, invited to on the main stage. I'll be there to meet you right after my speech to answer your questions, share insights, and continue inspiring blockchain journey together. Now, I shared and I spoke for quite a time to you, not to boost my achievements, but to show you that each and every one of you holds the power to make a difference. Your journey starts here at this, ETHToronto or ETHWomen hackathon, whatever you're attending. This moment could be the spark that ignites a series of events that will impact the lives of millions. Remember that your ideas, your creation, and your passion have the potential to shape the future of blockchain and beyond. And it's not just about lines of code, it's about the impact you can have on people's lives. Solutions that you can provide to global challenges, to the communities that you can uplift and empower. Believe in your potential, just as I believe in each and every one of you. And your journey starts here, and it is only the beginning of an adventure that could change the course of the history. I encourage you to seize every moment of this hackathon, embrace the challenge, and let your creativity flow. The journey you begin, again, as I said, has the potential to influence lives of millions, just as mine did. Remember, it's not just about the technology, it's about the impact that you can make and that we can make as a community. I look forward to hearing from you on LinkedIn and on Twitter, and meeting each and every one of you in person at the Blockchain Futurist and hearing about the incredible ideas and projects that you're working on. Thank you now for being part of this journey with me, with us, with Metis, with Cryptochicks. and I can't wait to see what we'll achieve together. See you soon in Toronto. Thank you.
From Nuvo. How you doing,
Hello.
Yuan?
Hey. So I need to present myself, right?
Yep. Let me pull up your. I'm just gonna leave this badge up for just one more second, and then I'll put on your presentation.
Oh,
So,
that'd be great. Thanks.
yep. For everyone, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and there you are. You should be able to control the presentation, Yuan. Go ahead.
By clicking the by clicking the screen. Hello everyone. Welcome to Hacking to the Future. And what I'm going to talk about is a new product coming into the market, which will help all the projects. The name is Nuvo. Really, we are trying to we aim to simplify the Web3 adoption. I don't know how I'm gonna control this slide though. Uh, I don't see a control. Okay, thank you so much. You can skip the next one. This is a team, a very veteran team. We have a lot of advisors, but but seriously, we really have seen a lot happening in the market, bull or the bear market included. So we all find a very common thing among all different projects, especially Web3 industry. Um, it is really about commercialization. So we have a great minds, brilliant minds, great ideas, great technologies. A lot of technologies being invented in the crypto space, and it's all wonderful. But down to the line, the business needs to survive, business income, business needs customers, and we found that most of the projects quite lacking in those areas. Uh, so especially like for example, I've talked to many projects. They have been struggling finding new leads, like new customers, customer acquisitions. And when they have some customers, some wallets in the ecosystem, they found that they are not really very active, so the level of engagement is really low. And in terms of the method when the initial acquisition was done, is it because of airdrop? Is it because of some incentive program? When the incentive program finishes, the user flowing out is quite large. So they have find hard time retain those customers in their ecosystem, and that leads to a lot of a pump and dump. You see the market. It's not really because that the project owner wants to just pump and dump. It's really because this short-term acquisition and the lack of retention that really fluctuates the business value of that particular project. And that's why you see this pump and dump patterns quite often in the market. So next slide, please. So we help Nuvo help projects to acquire retain users to build a successful business. That's our main mission, and we have quite a number of solutions to do so. Next slide, please. So we have Nuvo as a platform itself. We are powered, of course, by blockchain. We also have AI and data analytics in that, and we aim to adopt to improve the Web3 adoption for all internet users. I'm not talking about just Web3 users. We also have technologies that can actually funnel the Web2 users in different social media platform. Twitter included, of course, Telegram and WeChat for Asian markets, Line for the South Asian markets, that they can actually use those familiar logins to get on board with a Web3 product with no friction at all. Next slide, please. So we believe the key to mass adoption are in these three pillars. So accessibility. So there are a lot of problems in the current user experience. People need to understand, hey, what is the chain you're working on? What is the RPC endpoint? And they have to set up the MetaMask and all that. Like, hey, what kind of gas tokens you have to purchase in order to use the application? And when they onboard, they have to, for example, download MetaMask, or they have to go through exchange wallets and choose what wallets to use. So many complications. these are all just barrier to entry, a barrier to access for users. And nowadays people are lazy, right? If there's too much hassle to get on something, unless it's a heavy incentive, for example, if you can make $1 million by jumping onto a particular application, I think those hurdles doesn't really matter. But of course, most application doesn't have that war chest to say, hey, if you get on, I give you free money. No, it's not that simple. So for Nuvo, we offer like blockchain abstraction. So we basically abstract the whole blockchain layer. For developers and users, they don't have to worry about what blockchain they work with. We kind of abstract all the complication of different blockchains configurations, token prices, token gas tokens, and all that. We abstract all that up, and we allow users to have a holistic view of their assets across different chains. So they have a single view of all their assets, and if they want to move stuff, we facilitate that interoperability. And I just mentioned we do support all the social logins, all the familiar social login, and we're adding more because there are so many logins now. There's so many ID system ID providers, so we're adding more as it comes, and if people request more, we're going to add it. And the developers and user would enjoy free SSO access, so they can just keep using their familiar IDs without worrying about having like have to invent new passwords and stuff. You don't have to worry about all that. So that particular pillar is aiming to solve this accessibility problem. And then for developers, we allow very easy integration. And later slides, I can show you how easy that is. But it's extremely effortless, and people can jump on board and integrate with new platform and start enjoying all those accessibility for their users in no time. And the third pillar is about user retention. There are many ways of to retain user, but really, user needs to find the values of the application and find that interacting with the application or the projects rewarding. So we actually have a comprehensive reward system, and allow projects to run different campaigns, and have many innovative way to, for example, leveling and gamification of that. And we work with both Web2 and Web3 projects. Okay, next slide. So we have quite a number of partners already, and this is actually not the full list. We just recently add big exchanges and some conferences as well to the list. Stay tuned for more news. Next slide, please. So these are the products that is already online, and we actually have a new refreshed UI coming soon. Hopefully will be deployed by end of the month. Stay tuned for that. We're quite excited about it. But you can see we absolutely try to lower the friction that user when user onboard a new application. We allow different methods of login, including a SMS based login. It is quite popular in the Asian Pacific market. And we allow passwordless logging. So just like what you kind of familiar with the new trend, where you no longer need to come up with a password anymore. You can use your email address, and we send a special link to your email address, so you can click a link and log in. And we allow different ways of dealing with the private keys. So of course we support MPC. So you can kind of share a shard of the key with us, so that you don't have to worry about the key recovery or hacking of your private keys. Of course, but if you're fully confident and do not want to have any risk of having any piece of the keys, and you can do self-manage, we support that on the browser and the native apps on the phone, and no additional stuff you have to download. So we support self-managing keys. Of course, we also support a third-party wallets such as MetaMask or anything that's supported by Wallet Connect. We're trying to add more stuff. By the way, I noticed a typo over there. We'll fix it. So we support all different ways of accessing wallets and accessing decentralized applications by any users on the internet. Our goal is that even grammar can do it, and we're trying to achieve that. Next slide, please. And I mentioned we have a holistic view of all your assets of different chains, and we also have leaderboards with different social activities in there, so people can actually start to socialize using their badges and different achievements in different applications. It's quite a engaging activity, just without even involving any rewards in that. Next slide, please. And we do have, like I said, a very comprehensive incentive system. People, when people participate in different activities in campaigns, they actually gain a point called the repetition point. That repetition point can be a global repetition point or can be a application scoped repetition point. And based on that repetition points, they actually get leveling. So you can have a level 1 user and level 2 user, level 3 users for a particular decentralized application. And with that, you can have privileges to different special offers. You can have different yields. We do allow people to stake Nuvo token, which is not yet available, but in the future we'll have that functionality available so people can stake Nuvo tokens for additional rewards and gain access to privilege offers like wireless and stuff. So, but many exciting stuff happening there, and really, it's a great tool for projects to attract more users and also to keep the users loyal to their application because they have extra incentive for it. Next slide, please. And very important here because we mentioned a lot of stuff there, but growth is great, and all those growths will require some data. But people may start to worry, hey, whether data utilizing those data is safe, right? Especially now we have probably a hack every month now in the Web3 industry. So how we de-risk the risks of user data, right? So Nuvo actually provides a comprehensive solution for that as well. Next slide. So introducing the ID, a Nuvo ID. Nuvo ID is a privacy preserving decentralized identity. It is data infused. We actually have a lot of user data encrypted, of course, stored in the user's data space, which is decentralized storage. In the next slide, we can talk about more. Next slide, please. Okay. With all the data, now user can actually, so the project can actually see a lot of analytics, how the people are engaging with the campaign, how people are utilizing the features of the products, because it's actually a very important information. Because if you have a user like only use once a month for a particular feature, and you spend like $2 million in that on it, and without getting a return, you know exactly why what areas more to focus, right? For example, people may stop on using certain feature or give up on certain user features to give bad reviews on certain things. These are things that we can actually get insights from those Web3 analytics that we provide as part of the package. Next. We all the products we mentioned, they all have privacy preserving as the main principle. So anything that we do is everything is secured and owned by the user itself. So included the data itself. So there's no centralized place to store the data. People actually don't have access to your data only with your consent, and only with the consent and the additional processing from your side, so they can get some pieces of the data or attributes of data, or if you really want to give out the raw data, you can do so as well. And by doing so, you may also get some incentives along the way. Next one, please. And we kind of covered all that as well. So it is a very nice technology that we have invented. It is based on the zero knowledge proof. User can actually give out attributes of the data without giving out the actual data to third parties and marketers. And does allow it is allowed to a lot of like the established application, established products, because they are very familiar with data analytics, but they are very mindful about the data privacy. This solution solves all that effortless. They don't actually have to do much. The platform takes take care of it. Yeah, next slide, please. Thanks. And briefly mention all the stack we mentioned. We have a blockchain abstraction. On top of it, we have the identity layer, the SSO integration. We have different badges, and on top of it, we have the data analytics, data exchange, and dashboards. We're playing in all sorts of vertical markets, as you can see on the right-hand side. So, like I said in the beginning, any projects, if you have a project idea in mind, and you may having issues or having concerns of attracting users or keep user engaged, I think you should definitely talk to us. Next one. I think the slides is a little bit out of order, but apologies for that. But this this is what we mean by a privacy preserving exchange. So just like that, so people don't have to give out the raw data out. They can use the ZK technology to give attributes of data, so people can start utilizing getting the insights from your data, but really not having access to your data. Next one, please. Okay, so we do integrate with any chains. We're not limited to just Metis. And we work with all the projects from different chains, different even Web2 as well. We have Web2 clients just to utilize the data privacy features, so that they don't have to worry about all the data collected during the campaign, and so they have a peace of mind because of that. So we integrate with anything. So like I said at the beginning, again, if you have a project, you may find a Nuvo useful to you. Next one. So in terms of integration time needed, the actual technical integration is about 2 hours. And I'm not lying. It's about 4 lines of code. That's so 4 lines of code you can integrate with Nuvo platform and start using Nuvo access. And the going live is about a lot of testing, so making sure that everything's working fine. And on our side, we also want to make sure that all the API has been going through correctly, and we don't see any red flags in terms of how the API is being used. So like 2 days for going live. And based on the track record we have seen so far, 80% increase engagement is an understatement. We saw many explosive growth of engagement because utilizing the platform. So if you have a project and it's worried about user acquisition and retention, definitely talk to us. Next one, please. This is the partnership program. So all the partners have been going through this. We work with all the projects, no matter big or small, and we love to help. So again, we believe there's so many brilliant minds in the industry. It's just that it's sad to see a lot of commercialization side has been failed. So, but we can help. We can definitely help. Next one. So, of course, people will say, "Hey, is your platform going to cost a lot?" I can tell you, we don't charge if you don't see the value. What do I mean by that? Next slide. Is that with the engagement of Nuvo, you should see a increase in various amount of metrics. So as part of the deal, we'll actually discuss with you what kind of metrics you wanna enhance with, right? What kind of metrics you want to improve, and we don't charge. We don't charge unless we see a meaningful improvement of those metrics, and we're that confident. And we do have special programs for startups for certain features. We may offer some features for free. For enterprises, because the large number of users, we may have custom price in terms of how we charge based on the metrics. So the goal is so our projects know is that we want to help, and I also understand everyone's doing startups, so we may not have a lot of money, a lot of risk taking appetite. So we offer no risk engagement. You only have to pay when you see the results, and we are confident that you will see the results. Next. And just to update you all the different attractions we have right now. So fresh news. Next one, please. So right now we have 52,000 users on the platform. So it is 52,000 users you can tap into. So that's a good start, and it's been growing very fast. It's a what I call a hockey stick growth trajectory. We have just signed a couple big clients who will bring us millions of users. So it's a lot of good opportunity to work with us, right? Next one. And these are the media coverage. Feel free to search Nuvo on those medias, and you'll see we're very invested into the decentralized identifier and the customer engagement. Next one. And thank you everyone for enjoying my talk here. Hopefully it is a great service that you think is useful to you. And I will be at the futuristic conference as well. Look for this red shirts. You should be able to find me, and happy to chat about and how we can help.
Awesome. Thanks, Yuan. While we keep up this badge for just a few more minutes, or for a few more seconds, do you guys have any Discord or Telegram channel that people can join to engage with you guys?
Yes. On top of my head, I don't have it right now, but we can have a separate message on Twitter.
Okay, sure, awesome. And then just for everyone out there, you can go to nuvosphere.io and find all of their contact information there as well. Thanks, Yuan.
Thank you.
And then next we have Chelsea from Koris. I'm gonna leave the badge up for just a minute. And Chelsea, I'm bringing you on now. And then, all right, you should be unmuted. How are you doing, Chelsea?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Amazing. I'm gonna add your presentation up here. And then just let me know when you need me to change the slides.
Okay, sure, no problem. And I'll drop in the chat some links too. So I'm not sure if it went through, but okay. I'm not sure if it went through actually, but either way, I'm sure that Kat will be able to share the links at the end. So my name is Chelsea, and I'm the co-founder as well as COO of Koris. Today, we'll be talking about how Koris is building a scalable ad model by streaming rewards to influencers and creators. And towards the end, I'll also share how you can get started. And so make sure to stay because we do have opportunities to earn streaming crypto rewards. Next slide, please. Great. So why are we building this? Right now, there's a problem and there are gaps in influencer marketing. For one, it's expensive, it's inefficient, it's a long process, and there's also a inefficient compensation model. The cost is high, so it's about $35,000 just for an average campaign fee that a marketer is running to launch influencer marketing. And in addition to that, there's still some uncertainty of, what are their KPIs? What are they going to get out of it? There's also a very high cost if they outsource this to agencies. So even if they outsource to manage this entire process, it will cost. It'll cost them a premium. And if they do it on their own in-house, then there's a very one-on-one manual process of sourcing content creators as well as paying them. So it's not automated, and the process doesn't scale because they're still going one-on-one to influencers. Even if they're using some type of software to source influencers, they're still going to a negotiation or paying a different rate for a different influencer, and they have to manage that whole process. The payment model is using wire transfer or PayPal at best, so these Web2 digital payment models. And we're going to bring it to crypto. So if you can hop to the next slide. Thank you. And in addition to the marketer problem, there's also a really high barrier to entry for creators on the other side of the spectrum. So creators, there's only 35% of creators who have monetized their content. Majority haven't. About 60% haven't monetized at all. And the entry just to get paid from social media applications like YouTube, TikTok, X is very, very, very high. So you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time for YouTube, for instance, or 10,000 followers and 100,000 views in the past 30 days for TikTok to start streaming or just start receiving rewards. They don't do streaming, not crypto streaming at least. And the Twitter model to 15 million impressions within a 3-month period. It's very, very, very high. And this is not from brands directly to creators. This is from the platform themselves. So how can brands have more control, and how can they do this type of marketing in-house and manage it themselves? Next slide, please. The opportunity here. So as I'd mentioned, influencer marketing, it's growing and it's effective, and marketers, they know this. So 93% of marketers, they've used influencer marketing, and 89% of them, they believe that it's effective. So across the board, marketers are well aware. And then the influencer marketing actually has a 2 times ROI than pay per click advertisements. So it's superseding traditional advertisements. Streaming, there's an opportunity to automate the payments. So we can do that using streaming payments, crypto streaming payments. And so I'd mentioned it's one-on-one manual basis right now for payments, but instead there can be an automated stream to stream payments en masse. So 75% of marketers, they also believe this can be automated, or the process of payments can be automated. And then, as mentioned, brands are heavily spending on influencers. So you could take a quick look at a lot of these stats here. They're spending more than 50K a year, and they're going to spend more, 11% are going to spend more than 500K just on influencer marketing. And 67% of marketers, they're going to increase their budget, their influencer marketing budget in 2023. So the opportunity too for creators themselves. So there's an opportunity to empower creators with the ability to readily find paid opportunities and start streaming instantaneously, get paid. Next slide, please. Thank you. So how we do this is we automate the lifecycle process. Brands can create ad campaigns. They can list content bounties. So they're creating a marketplace of content, and therefore creators can then find content to readily get paid for different opportunities. So creators can easily find bounties and submit their content, and then our platform does the automation, the content check, as well as the automated payments. And we also do dynamic bonus streams. So I'll explain a little bit more about that in a couple of slides, but basically creators get paid more for higher engagement. So they submit their content, gets more likes, views, etc. Automated boosted streaming rewards. Next slide. Okay, so here's a quick look. You can also go to stream.koris.io/Koris. There's some bounties right now, just live today, specifically for attending this event. But here's an example. So the Metis ecosystem, they want to promote what's happening within projects. And MIPS had a incentive campaign, liquidity mining campaign. They had $50,000 worth of monthly rewards. This is something that the Metis ecosystem, as well as MIPS, would want creators to talk about, word of mouth influencer marketing. So they can list their content bounty, and then they'll have streams set up for this specific bounty itself. So they can earn Metis or USDC. And the requirements, there will be like a keyword requirement, as well as some other backend requirements, just a content quality check. And then on the right, you'll see here the creators who have been submitting content and their streaming reward. So they're creating the content for the MIPS incentive campaign, and they're being automated the streams. Next slide, please. Okay, and then, so I talked a little bit about this, but what type of rewards are there? So there's 2 rewards. There's a base reward as well as a boosted performance reward. So base reward is a minimum amount that is set by the by the brand. This allows content creators to find content that they can submit to, and they can receive a base reward at standard. And then boosted performance rewards, which are coming in Q4, these allow the brand to ensure that they're paying more for higher performance. So content creators with higher amount of followers, or content creators whose content has a higher amount of views or likes, they can be boosted, increased streams. And I'm not sure if you guys are aware of the cost of hiring a mega influencer, for instance, but they can charge anywhere from thousands of dollars to promote for a brand. So depending on, their level, their engagement, they would receive different types of rewards. So this can be automated as well. And then in addition to that, we do have the requirements that there will be verified users who are verified to receive these boosted rewards, two-factor authentication, login with socials. We thought about, we're not probably going to do it because bad PR, but proof of personhood. So there's a lot of proof of personhood right now. You hear about WorldCoin and there's a lot of different types of apps. Probably not going to do WorldCoin because the bad PR, but hey, proof of personhood. There's a lot of different types of innovations. They're being built specifically for these reasons, to prevent bots or spam, etc. So we have different protections already in place, and we could consider additional ones if it makes it easier in the future. Click the slide, please. Thank you. So who can use Koris? Again, the marketer as well as the content creators. So the brands themselves, they want to automate their influencer marketing. They want an easy management of their campaigns. They want to onboard more creators, and they want to do this in-house, and they want it to be cost efficient, as well as content creators themselves. So they can find in the marketplace of content opportunities immediately. They can skip a negotiation, or there's also, if you have you ever done this before, right now how it works is the creators on a lot of these influencer marketing software platforms, they list their rates and people click on their profile and then hire them. But again, it's one-on-one with the brand to the creator, and it's not being streamed. But the creator has to sit around and wait and hope that the brands will want to pay them or want to hire them for their work. So instead, the brand is able to readily find the work themselves. And then we have the performance-based rewards too. So next slide, please. Thank you. So the global market size across the board, it's growing. I think we all know social media. You go on any of the social media apps, there's always there's new people joining every day, and everyone wants to create new content. So influencer marketing as an industry itself, it's just continuing to grow trajectory-wise. 36% increase on average per year. 2023, $21.1 billion market size. Next slide, please. And then nano and micro influencer rates. So we hone in on the nano and micro influencer, which our platform does support macro, mega, mid-tier, especially with the boosted rewards. But right now, actually, nano and micro influencers, their engagement rates are higher. And how that's calculated is if you divide a post's overall engagement by the influencer's followers, then you'll see that the engagement is actually higher, the turnaround for nano and micro influencers versus the macro and mega. So they have more niche followings and their engagement rates higher. So how can the marketers scale these nano and micro influencers who have 1,000 to 10,000 followers or mid-tier 10K to 50K? How can they scale at mass all the amounts of people or all the creators that have, have engagement potential, but are, not worth having a call with? Maybe have a call with a mega macro influencer, of course, like a celebrity. You could have a deal with them, but for scaling the nano and micro, that's a different story. Next slide, please. So our roadmap, our private beta, which keyword private, we did have a soft launch and it is live now, but we have not gone live publicly. We've onboarded our early clients. But the private beta, so looking here, what we do is the streams. The streams are available, as well as being able to manage ad campaigns and bounties. Gasless transactions, so our projects are able to subsidize the gas, and they can allow the creators to have a seamless gasless experience. And then social app login. So logging in with your Twitter or logging in with your Lens protocol, logging in with Lens protocol app or YouTube or TikTok, etc. So you can log in with your social apps to be able to sync your content, as well as token integrations, which is interesting and different, but it's like a double whammy marketing for Web3 projects who want to stream their token directly to content creators versus, streaming USDC. They are able to add a layer of token marketing, but the rewards are earned. So in order for the creators to receive the token, they have to output. They have to create content. So we can do the token integrations as well. Public beta. So Q4, what's coming? Influencer targeting. So funneling influencers. So for instance, a gaming protocol or a gaming project application, they would want to target to gaming creators, or an author wants to target to book reviewers. So we're able to target specifically the content or qualify the content to certain creators. That's coming in Q4, as well as performance-based rewards, as mentioned. Advanced analytics, do the analytics, make sure that all the metrics and everything's shown for the creators and for the results of the campaigns with a UI and UX redesign. Can't wait to do that. And then public beta, campaign creation assistant, we can implement ChatGPT. We've already tested the waters with that just to help with scaling out content creation, as well as we'll have subscription models for the marketers as well as creators to have upgraded and enhanced features, and a mobile application. Next slide, please. The private beta results. So again, we did a soft launch. You might not have heard of it because it was private, but we do have paid beta users already, marketers who are using the platform to stream to creators. Metis, Pay, ZKM, Cryptochicks, Morpheus Network. And then we have also campaigns that are launched with Nuvo, P1X, Ashtrace is coming soon. So we do have projects that are onboarding and more to come. We're doing this on a one-on-one basis. We're not opening it up very widely yet. We're just testing the waters. Creator engagement results has also been high. So we have measured our engagement results for the content creators who have submitted content on Koris, and it has received 113 times more engagement than a Twitter ads campaign. Again, engagement is dividing the amount of followers with the engagement rates, like likes, followers, reshares, etc. The average cost is 3.2 times less than the equivalent of a Twitter ads campaign. So the cost to launch a Twitter ads campaign is more than the cost to run a campaign on our platform, and has organic traction of creators already, and we haven't even launched marketing. So by word of mouth, creators are coming and looking for these content bounties and participating. 250 projects signed up for our whitelist. So these are actual projects, not people, but companies. And then 30 plus projects were onboarded to our testnet application. Next slide, please. Here's our team, so you can meet everyone. We also have a couple people who aren't listed here. I wish they were, but we have our CEO. I think you guys have perhaps some familiarity with some of these faces. And our technical gurus, Pavel, Chris, myself, and then we have advisors, key advisors, Natalia, Karen, and Kevin Liu. Next slide. So, okay, I promised in the beginning that you can start streaming, and that means you can earn crypto rewards, Metis specifically. How to do that is you can either go to stream.koris.io/Koris or scan this QR code. Go to that link and you'll see 2 content bounties running for 1 week. So you can test and use Koris. And next slide, please. So you can also claim a badge. So it's a Koris badge. You have to go on Nuvo. I think you guys have already been doing that. You'll also see that one of the content bounties on stream.koris.io/Koris has that you will screenshot your badge and post it on Twitter. So if you do that, you can earn Metis. So that's one fun thing that you can do. So make sure to check out the bounties. And also follow us on Telegram. Our Telegram link, I think I'll share it with Kat right now and she can drop it in the chat. 1 second. Drop. Okay, I'm sharing the Telegram link with Kat. So stay in touch with Koris on Telegram. You'll be able to find more bounties there and announcements. Find us on social media, and we look forward to continuing to grow. And soon we'll have more updates. I think you're on mute, Kat.
Haha. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Chelsea. I'm going to leave this badge up for just a moment. I'm reading everyone's comments. I see that there may be some issues with claiming your badge. All you need to do is just go through the login process. Coincidentally, Nuvo is updating their UI. So even though you may not see your badge immediately, you'll see it within the next couple of days. But all right, I'll leave that up. Thank you again, Chelsea. I'll see you soon. And up next is going to be Ben. I'll bring you on here, Ben. Howdy do, howdy do.
Hello. Hello,
Nice
hello,
to see
hello.
you. And here is your presentation. Just let me know when you need me to change the slides over, and I got you. But
all right,
it all goes to you, bud.
All right, sounds good. Hello, everyone. I'm live. Welcome to Hack to the Future. I'm Ben Jones, representing the Dynamo team at P1X over here. So in this booming era of AI development and in a time where crypto is navigating a bear market, I'm excited to introduce and update you on P1X, Metis ecosystem accelerator and Web3 plus AI project incubator for the APAC region. So today we'll explore the Web3 landscape in the Asia Pacific region, our flagship AI Web3 project, Anur, and a sneak peek into our upcoming DeFi initiative. It's a liquid staking derivative that will empower the Metis ecosystem. So maybe go to, let's see. All right, cool. All right, so the question is, why the Asia Pacific region? Why are we at EcoNode focused on that region? So to answer that, so let's zoom out and look at the Asia Pacific, or as we call it, the APAC opportunity. So so thank you. Yeah, you can go to the next one. Sorry. The APAC region is on track. I don't know if you know this, but it's on track to lead the global Web3 market, with projections touching an impressive $81.5 billion by 2030. This growth is propelled by the banking, e-commerce, and healthcare sectors in the region. So now let's zoom into the APAC and focus on Southeast Asia, as you can see in this slide here. Within the APAC region, Southeast Asia, all you those who are from Southeast Asia, shout out to you guys, is emerging as the collective juggernaut of the region, surpassing powerhouses like China and Japan. This is incredible, and we're in a bear market. And within Southeast Asia, there are many rock star nations. So can't list them all because time constraint, but I'm going to just start with these 3. In Vietnam, Vietnam has clinched the #1 spot globally for crypto adoption for 2 years running. That's incredible. And they've established themselves as the 2nd largest cryptocurrency market in Southeast Asia. Now we're going down to Philippines. All the Filipinos, shout out to you guys. So in the Philippines, they've been the global leader in Web3 gaming, GameFi, for the last 3 years straight, with Filipinos making up 40% of user base for GameFi games like Axie Infinity and many others. And then in Thailand, they are the largest crypto market in Southeast Asia, and leading the Thai banks like K-Bank are at the forefront of digital financial inclusion. So they are providing banking for everyone with a phone. And their plans are to integrate Web3 tech, making crypto accessible to the entire nation. So we can move to the next slide. So that's why APAC. That's why the APAC. And now introducing P1X. So P1X operates as both a Web3 AI incubator and a MetisDAO ecosystem accelerator. Now, what does that mean? You can move to the next slide. Oh, you can go back, yeah. So our core mission is onboarding outstanding projects from the region and empowering Web3 and AI innovation strategically in this APAC region. So let's dive into P1X's flagship projects, which I'm super excited to introduce it to you all. So let's go to the next slide. Introducing Newer. This project is about revolutionizing decentralized AI development through blockchain technology. All right. So as AI development scales exponentially, centralized systems face a challenge. The challenge is skyrocketing computational power costs and also GPU chip innovation limits. So the innovation is going and the computational power and the chips can't catch up. So let's go to the next slide here. So Anuar's philosophy is to democratize AI GPU power through blockchain, ensuring cost affordability, number one, and returning power and literally and metaphorically power back to the people. Our vision with Anuar is an AI-human symbiosis, which means, and it's anchored in a DAO-based AI framework. So this ensures that human free will remains safeguarded from those who may want to implement some centralized system control over us. We can move on to the next one. So if you can imagine a future with an AI human network where you and your friends own computing and AI, not governments and big corporations. And to further this vision, we're launching an AI chatbot to spread our message and a grant program to foster development, partnerships, and incubation in the region. You can move to the next one. Additionally, we're excited about our LSD project on the horizon. This liquid staking initiative aims to provide liquidity and staked assets and will be a significant DeFi achievement for the MetisDAO ecosystem later this year. So stay tuned for that one. You can move to the next slide. All right, so as we're looking ahead into the future, AI development is surging even as we navigate a bear market. The APAC region is on track to become the global leader in Web3 within a few years, 2030. Moreover, Southeast Asian countries have consistently secured top positions in crypto and GameFi year after year. The Asia Pacific is not just on the brink of a Web3 revolution, it's poised to redefine its boundaries. In this transformative era, P1X positions itself as a pivotal catalyst in a way. Our unwavering commitment is to spearhead Web3 and AI innovations and accelerate the Metis ecosystem. So we're not just optimistic about the future. We're jumping head first, getting into the mix to help where we can in shaping it. And we're incredibly excited about this journey and look forward to forging this path alongside you, all of you who are watching. So shout out to everybody who's there. You can go to the next slide. Or is there a next slide? No, never mind. Let me see. Well, if you want to check us out, go to Linktree. Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah. So this is our, just scan this QR code. And also go to Linktree /P1X Labs to find all our socials there. Telegram, Discord. Check us out. We have a lot of things going on. And if you're interested, we'd love to partner and connect with you and your communities. And yeah, thank you for your time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ben. That's awesome. I'm so glad that you were able to make it today. Everyone go ahead and claim your badge. Just a reminder, I understand you might be having some issues claiming your badge today. Just go ahead, go in through the login process, and after the system update, you will see the badge in there. All right, have a great one, Ben. Thank you again so much for joining.
Thanks, guys. Have a great one. Bye.
Bye. And then next we have Filip from ZKM, the newest MetisDAO Foundation EcoNode. He's the DevRel lead. And let me just pull up your presentation. I'll give you guys one more second to scan that badge. How you doing, Filip?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you, Kat. Hi, everyone. Very excited to be here on this, great, actually, lineup of presenters. So very happy to be speaking for ZKM.
Awesome. Happy to have you here. Go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, so hi, everyone. I'm Filip, as Kat mentioned. I'm the DevRel lead for ZKM, or usually short for ZK MIPS. So we can go to the next slide, please, Kat. Yeah, so what's ZKM all about? So right now in the industry, we have a lot of layer 1s and layer 2s and other types of blockchains that require additional scalability, require additional security in regards to maybe they're very popular, but then they require a lot of additional features. We intend to provide the infrastructure to give them exactly that, while also giving them Ethereum's features, because we are Ethereum maximalists in a way, at least I am personally, as a global settlement layer. But it's completely notwithstanding, what kind of layer 1, layer 2 it may become, because we're going to implement the MIPS instruction set. If you can get your instruction set down to our MIPS, we can basically utilize you as infra. But what's also important to mention that this does not apply only to Web3, to blockchain world. We also intend to apply this to Web2 world. So any kind of IoT device, any kind of device that utilizes cloud computing, if they have a VM that can also be utilized via the MIPS instruction set, we can, kind of assemble it, compile it, and use again Ethereum and compile ZK proofs in order to, have it as a settlement, global settlement layer. So that's exactly what we're trying to build here: one solution to unify all and everything. I personally, like to say that we need to bring more of Web2 people into Web3, and that's what I've been doing for the past 5 years or so. To be honest, I've been trying to educate as many people as I can to bring them into Web3, because I believe this is the future, and ZKM is exactly the place to do that. Next slide, please. So when we talk about the actual Ethereum scaling landscape, there's two most popular options right now, solutions right now: the optimistic rollups and the ZK rollups. There's a small typo here. I hope you won't mind me about the market size. So optimistic rollups have a couple of advantages and disadvantages of their own. So they're easier to implement, not maybe very easy to implement, easier to implement than ZK rollups, and they have potentially usually low transaction costs, but the withdrawal time can be a lot due to fraud-proof challenges. When compared to that, ZK rollups, they have fast withdrawal time, but usually require every ZK rollup has a kind of their own, proof system, or at least a fork of a proof system. Sometimes there is slow in transaction confirmation. They usually have high transaction costs. What's also important to mention that sometimes for their MVPs have to be put onto centralized, web services like AWS or GCS in order to provide. So do not actually provide centralization. So, and we, want to kind of solve that. So next slide, please. Yeah, so as I mentioned, the biggest two problems in both of those, the 7-day withdrawal wait time for the optimistic rollups. If we kind of want to parallelize this with the Web2 world, it can be very problematic, especially when it comes to clearinghouses. And for the ZK rollup side, the EVM stability, meaning that usually all of these ZK rollups require additional features and tools to be made to support the EVM. It's usually not equivalence with the EVM, but compatibilities, which can sometimes not prove enough, depending on what kind of opcodes you want to implement within your ecosystems. Next slide, please. So what is ZKM? I've put some buzzwords here: ZKVM, hybrid rollup, MIPS instruction set. We implement all of those. So we are building a ZKVM, basically that is going to introduce involve the MIPS instruction set, the reduced MIPS instruction set, do some magic within it, let's call it like that, and pull out the ZKPs out so people can have more scalability with their transactions, more security, while also, keeping the challenges alive. Why is it called a hybrid rollup? Because we intend to utilize both the good features from both ZK rollups and optimistic rollups while keeping the bad features out. Of course, not all of them, but we'll try our best. Next slide, please. So exactly, this is exactly what I mentioned. So the 7-day withdrawal limit time, instead of having this feature of an optimistic rollup, we kind of went with the ZK rollup feature on this side. On the EVM stability problem, we have utilized an instruction set that's been there for decades, that it's very stable, so that what we think is actually very commendable by the community. And we also very much believe in the open source ethos. So everything that we are going to publish, everything we're going to release is going to be open sourced, and people can contribute to it very readily. Next slide, please. So why ZKM? We tried to combine two market caps, two markets, not market caps, two markets that are both from Web 2 and Web 3. We want to try to integrate, as many possible IoT devices, as many layer 2 solutions, layer 1 solutions, anybody, so we can utilize Ethereum as a global settlement layer. We want to provide instant withdrawals for maybe those Web 2 solutions that require instant withdrawals. Some of those solutions cannot wait for 7 days to get their, challenges or for their fraud proofs to be finalized. Or even Web3 solutions, not only Web 2, of course. We will provide security improvements, of course, as I already mentioned. And we have a team, of course, I myself am a DevRel, but we also have a team of developers, and we also broaden our team with DevRels, additional DevRels, that will help you guys adopt our technology. So we'll be there to help you. You can always contact me. I will provide my personal contact on Discord. So next slide, please. And yeah, as I mentioned, Discord. So please feel free to join our Discord. It's kind of newish. There's only 500 of us still there, so it's a smaller kind of family. But please join us. We are very excited to see what kind of ideas the community will bring up. We want to see what kind of products you would like to build, what kind of solutions you want, what kind of problems you want to solve in general. So please join our Discord. I'm there, Filip, you'll see me. I'm also on Twitter. I'll share my socials shortly. So feel free to contact me anytime, or anybody from our team, really, from our great mod team. Emilio is there as well. And yeah, let's hack into the future together, as the title says. Thank you. I think you're muted, Kat, sorry.
I keep on doing that. I'm so sorry, guys. Awesome. Thank you so much, Filip. I'm going to leave up this slide for just a minute so everyone can join our Discord. I'm also part of the ZKM team as well with Filip here. I do marketing and BD for them, but we would love to see you in the Discord talking about anything and everything that revolves around Ethereum. We're working on some big things, and we have quite a few researchers, analysts, and professional developers who are in there that can also help you with any questions you might have as a developer, even if it's not pertaining to ZKM or the Metis ecosystem. So go ahead and join, and then I'll do that. And in 2 seconds, 1, 2, here is the badge to claim your Nuvo badge for this. Thank you again, Filip. Have a lovely day.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
All right. And then while I leave up this badge, I'm going to bring on Rami, who is the DevRel lead for the Metis Layer 2. Where'd you go, bud? There you are. Hi, Rami. How you doing?
How are you, Kat? I'm doing great.
Absolutely fantastic. Alrighty. I'm gonna leave up this badge for just
take your time. Let's also wait for Ivan a little bit.
Okay, sure. Awesome. blah, blah, blah. What am I thinking? We'll put up your slide.
All
So we
right.
have Ivan joining us in just a minute. We're just waiting to bring him up into the studio, which takes a little bit of time for StreamYard to do. But
all right.
We'll just...
So I will just go ahead then. And
okay.
Ivan can join later because, yeah, he can present about Parsiq a bit later. So hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good whatever. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Really appreciate also the opportunity for presenting here. Today, we're going to be building a voting system and deploying it to Metis L2 network. And our friends from Parsiq are going to help us to index the contract that we're going to deploy. And we're going to see how easy it is to index the contract and do all sorts of things with it. So let's get started. Can you move on to the next slide? Yeah. So about me, I'm an experienced hacker in Web3. I like to call myself a hacker. I'm an engineer. I have a background in cybersecurity, starting from 2019. Love to participate in hackathons, CTFs, and so on. Actually, I learned about the Ethereum blockchain from a CTF back in 2020, and that's how I ended up here. Currently, I'm leading the Metis DevRel team, and I have worked on various projects and integrations, mainly focusing on smart contract wallets and ownership, DeFi, and Web3 analytics, among others. We have also joining us is Ivan. He's a wonderful sales engineer in Parsiq and co-host of a blockchain podcast, Basic Block, with a background in Web3 and in Web2 and Web3 security. In Parsiq, Ivan builds a bridge between the users and the dev team, learning about the client's needs, making sure the product covers them, as well as sharing what it can be used for and how. All right. So what's on the agenda? What are we going to discuss today? First, we're going to discuss Ethereum blockchain. What is it? How does it work? I believe a lot of people before me, especially Filip, talked about Ethereum and Ethereum scaling. So we're not going to delve into that very deeply. Save some more time for our next presenters. We also going to learn about Solidity, the programming language for Ethereum blockchain. Learn about layer 2 solutions and what is Metis layer 2. We're going to be also deploying the contract. We're going to go see how easy and simple it is to write a contract and deploy it without even using a no-code tool. You can just deploy it from your own workspace, just like a real hacker. That's what we're going to do. And then we're going to interact with the contracts, learn about the events and the entities of the contracts. And then Parsiq, Mr. Ivan is going to help us to use the Tsunami API and fetch the contract data in real time. All right, so Ethereum, what is it? As we know the blockchain, we know that it's the set of blocks and each block contains the transactions. This is like any blockchain, that's the definition of it. It's the set of blocks and the set of these transactions inside the blocks. Now, Ethereum introduces smart contracts, which are code that lives on the blockchain. All right, that's how we can think of it. Code that lives on the blockchain that can be executed when called. And so, how these contracts are executed using the EVM, which is the Ethereum virtual machine. So the Ethereum virtual machine just runs this compiled bytecode for the contract, so every time you call a function in a contract, this function called, so for example, you say when you're transferring a USDT token, you're calling transfer from to, all right? It's like very straightforward. You see it in Solidity, but it is actually translated into some bytecode, in some hex encoded bytecode that the EVM understands and knows what to do with it. So when I call transfer, it becomes like 0x96 something. And then the EVM takes this, all right, so this transfer event is going to this contract. So, all right, I'm reading this contract. Okay, so the function signature is 0x96 something something. So this is the function signature for transferring. All right, I'm gonna read this contract. I'm gonna read this transfer function. I'm just gonna take these encoded also parameters for the function, and I'm gonna execute them. That's how the EVM works. So that's how it just runs the smart contracts in a simple way. I might have maybe I said it wrong, but like that's about it. That's how it works. Now the challenges of Ethereum, just like Filip mentioned, it's like almost everybody mentioned before me. It's like an expensive chain. It's a chain of chains. It's not a chain for users because it's quite slow. Like it has a TPS of about 30 transactions per block or per second, like 30 TPS. Yeah. And the challenges are like scalability. All right, and it is expensive also. So the EVM, the Ethereum virtual machine, it's a machine, so it consumes gas, we can say. That I'm pretty sure you all heard about gas that you use for sending transaction. So if you worked around with MetaMask or any other self-custodial wallet, I'm pretty sure you know about gas. When you cannot send the transaction when you have 0 Ethereum on the Ethereum blockchain, and Ethereum is expensive, transactions are expensive. Sometimes like deploying a contract on Ethereum can cost you up to like I don't know, I think I once deployed a contract on Ethereum. It cost me like $500, which is like crazy for if we compare to other chains, for example, like Metis chain. Now we will see like it costs nothing to deploy the contract here. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Scaling, that's our problem here, and that's what we aim to solve with layer 2 solutions. We will explore this a bit later. So what is Solidity? This is like the Solidity compiler help. I like to be quirky, hacky here. Solidity is the most used programming language on the Ethereum blockchain. It's the most famous. There is also other languages like Viper, some people use Rust for writing smart contracts. But I think the most used language is Solidity, as it's very simple. It's very straightforward. It's pretty much like English, as you will see a bit later. So Solidity is not, when we talk about the EVM doesn't understand Solidity. Solidity is just like how any programming language is not exactly a machine language. It's a human language, all right? So Solidity is a human language. Now, Solidity compiler takes this human language, which is Solidity, which a language we understand, all right, and compiles it into bytecode that the EVM understands. The Ethereum virtual machine would understand the bytecode. How it is used in smart contract development, very straightforward. We will see a bit later. Key features, we have something like inheritance or like polymorphism, a lot of very cool features that you will learn about. And where can you learn about Ethereum or Solidity language? I think the best place, the best resource, and where I've personally learned about it is the reference and the documentation for Solidity language. In my opinion, that can be the best place to just go deep dive into any data type, any call, any internal call, anything. You can just go through the documentation, and I think it will be the best option. Optionally, you can. There's a lot of tutorials on YouTube. There's I think there was like a 24-hour bootcamp. A lot of my friends actually took this bootcamp by Free Code Academy, something like this. If you need it, just DM us on Twitter and we can send it to you. All right, next. Layer 2 solutions. Everybody talked about this. We're aiming to close the gap so we have the blockchain trilemma, which is security, scalability, and decentralization sitting at a triangle. So like if you focus on scalability and decentralization, you might be sacrificing a little bit security. If you focus on security and decentralization, just like Ethereum, so Ethereum is a highly secure, highly decentralized network. It sacrifices a lot in scalability. So what we're trying to do is to close this gap between these three items as much as possible, to try to be like right in the middle of this blockchain trilemma. And like we're trying to achieve, so we're already very scalable. We already have the cheapest transactions. And we're already very secure. Also, we're trying to achieve now more decentralizations. Like we have a lot of updates, exciting updates to come about decentralization. So stay tuned to our Twitter. And so the layer 2, if I need to explain it to you, is a way that it's like another chain that runs under Ethereum. All right, so Ethereum is like the giga chain, we can say, and there would be like a contract on Ethereum, all right, that records these transactions from the other chain. All right, for example, like a very basic layer 2 solution would be to just run another chain, all right, and take these transactions, like take, for example, 100 transactions, compress them, and put them on Ethereum. This way, you don't pay gas for these 100 transactions. You pay gas for one transaction. You pay slightly more, but for just one transaction, and like that's how you can scale Ethereum. You take some of the transactions off of Ethereum chain, and you execute them like off the chain, all right, on another chain, for example, on our chain, and then you roll them like a piece of paper, and then put them on Ethereum in a compressed way, in a way that doesn't cost so much gas. That's how we make it very very cheap for our users to send transactions. And yeah, now here we are. If you haven't heard of a decentralized application, it's an application that interacts with a smart contract. Basically, it's a Web3 application. So what is a Web3 application from a technical point of view, from like a developer point of view? So the simplest application consists of like two items. One is the front end, all right? The second item is the smart contract. So the front end, or the client side, this is the code that runs on your side, on my machine, on my computer. It doesn't run on a server, all right? So like essentially you can download this client code, all right? Disconnect from the internet. Do not, like, you can also, you don't even need to connect to some network or something. You just need to have access to the Ethereum network, all right? That's how you can run a decentralized application. That's how it is actually decentralized. Like there's no server that can mess up with your data. There is no server that's storing your data. Yeah, it consists of the front end, all right, and the calls to the smart contract. So the front end calls to the smart contract. the smart contract is on the blockchain. The front end is on your computer, you can say. So here we do not see a backend also. Like, yeah, sometimes the front end is hosted on a web server. Some very quirky people like to host it on, like, for example, IPFS, to have more decentralization, because web server, like, for example, the content of a web server can be changed by the owner of this web server, but that's how people can, like, try to make it more decentralized, to host it somewhere where it cannot be changed, or like the URL is stays the same, then the content stays the same, doesn't change. So the backend here, there's no backend. The smart contracts kind of play the role of backend here in this DApp. Sometimes people can put also like an extra layer of a backend to store some data. If your app is heavy on data usage, you can store some of it on the backend. But the most decentralized app is just a front end and a smart contract. And now for the exciting part, we're gonna go ahead and show you our repository template. I have made a repository that you can use for like starting up your very simple smart contract if you want to deploy to Ethereum blockchain. So let me share my screen real quick. Share screen. All right. Kat, can you bring my screen up, please? All right, here we go. So let me just delete this real quick. This is not used. Okay. All right. Okay. So this is our repository. You can find it at the link is actually in the presentation. I will show you the link in the end, but I will just walk you through the repository real quick. I will show you like what do we have here. It is a voting system. All right. So this is the contract. This is the Solidity contract. As you can see, it has the file name, the file type sol, which is for Solidity. It's a voting system. As you can see here, we have an owner. We have we can actually replace the owner with ownable. One sec. Or no, we don't need to. So we have an owner for the voting system, which is like, it can be a governor. This is a very simple contract. Actually, do not use this in production. This is just for a tutorial purpose. So this has not been tested or anything. And this also like doesn't make much sense, this contract. It's just for the sake of this tutorial. We have the owner, which can add candidates. All right. We have the list of candidates or the mapping of candidates. So there would be the candidate ID that maps to a candidate struct. We have the struct type here. So like we have some basic data types in Solidity, which are very basic. Like there's the address, there's the UN, there's the int, there's the Boolean. But for example, if you need to, there's the string also, of course. If you need to do a more complex data type, you can use structs, just like we did here, which takes this data, all right, and puts them all together in one object. It's just like objects in, like you can compare it to structs or classes in other standard programming languages, like C or C++ or whatever. Yeah, C doesn't have class, I know. All right, so it just takes this data together in a struct and encodes them to have one data type. So yeah, this mapping maps from the candidate ID to the candidate object. And this mapping maps the votes to the uint. Here, like each address, how much they voted. So if I search for the votes of my address, I can see how much tokens I devoted for this candidate, or how much tokens I voted in general. We have the candidates count, we have the voting token, which we'll see a bit later. So here we have events. On the blockchain, we have this thing called events, all right? So how do these wallets, for example, MetaMask, track your transfer events and everything? They just they can track these events, all right, to keep track of your balance, all right. So for example, the ERC contract, which is the contract for almost all the tokens. Let me see. Actually, we're not gonna see it right now, but like there's a transfer event which specifies your address and the from address, which is the address that it's sent from, all right, the to address and the amount. And that's how, like, MetaMask, for example, tracks your balance. So here we have these events, all right. You can choose to emit them anytime you want. Indexed means it will be, you can, indexed, actually, you can use it for like filtering. If you do not, if for example, this new candidate event, I do not put an index for the name. It means I cannot, it will be more difficult for me to filter these events by the name. But index means you can filter with them. And you can do a lot of other cool stuff with index. So if it's an important parameter, you can just put index before it and voila. All right. So the constructor is the entry point when you deploy contract. This is the function that gets deployed, that gets called, sorry, when you deploy the contract. So once I deploy the contract, the constructor will be executed, and it makes the owner as the message sender, which is like the sender of the deployer of the contract would be the owner here. And the voting token is here in the parameters, all right? Now the modifiers, they are like a precondition or a something that is executed before the function call. So here, for example, add candidate has the modifier only owner. So only the owner can call this function, all right? Here, you can write whatever code you want. And then this little thing right here, it means, all right, call the function now. So this will be executed before the function call. It will just make sure that the message sender is the owner. That's why it's called on the owner. Makes sense, right? Yeah. Here, add candidate. You can give it a name, and then it emits a new candidate. You can look at the logic a bit later once you explore the repository. And so yeah, it will emit a new candidate event, which we will see with Parsiq. And then we have the vote function, which is public. So anybody can call this function and vote for the candidate that they want. So they can use the voting token, all right, to, if I have some voting token, I can use this voting token to vote for someone, all right? So we have the candidate ID. Yeah, just like requirement statement means, all right, check for this condition. If it doesn't apply, if it's not true, then you just emit this error. That's it. And then, yeah, in the end, we emit a new vote event, which we'll also see with Parsiq. Now here, you can write deployments, a deploy script for the contract. Here, for example, yeah, there's also, oh, I forgot to show you. There is, I'm going to go through it real quick. There's the voting token. See here, it inherits the ERC20 contract, all right? And it inherits the ownable contract. Ownable contract just makes it easier to use the only owner modifier and like make the function, make the contract just literally ownable. There's the constructor. This is how you call the constructor of the parent contract or the contract you're inheriting from. This is how you can override a function from the this contract. And we have also a small mint function that only the owner can call. So the owner here can mint some tokens to the participants. All right, now here is the deployment. This is how you can deploy the contract. This is using the hard hat deploy library. It's a very cool library. That's my personal favorite library when like working with Solidity contracts, because it allows you to like save the deployments. So for example, here is the saved deployments. Here is the recorded transaction for the for the not recorded transaction. Like you can use this for verifying the contract. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff. Here it shows you, oh, here's actually the recorded transaction, yeah. And you can see the address, the API. Is just very cool stuff. Like you don't have to write this by yourself. It just does everything for you. You can deploy just this way by referencing the contract name. And yeah, that's it. You can explore the code a little bit more on our GitHub repository. I don't want to run late here, but I will just show the scripts that we wrote also. We can write scripts. So this script can add a new candidate, all right? We can see the owner here can execute the add candidate call, all right? See, from owner, log true, on the voting system contract to the candidate name. So here, execute, you don't have to like find the address of the contract and so on. Just the execute function from the hard hat deploy can search for the address of the voting system, all right, from here, find it from here, and then just call the function very easily. Like if you were to do it without this hard hat deploy, it will be much more complicated. But yeah, this is how we can call this script. Let's call it real quick. Hard hat run add candidate. All right, let's give it a new name. Let's give it like Ivan, maybe. All right, and let's do it. All right, now we have candidate Ivan with the ID. This ID is 3. All right, we can also vote for Ivan. Let's vote. So candidate ID 3. Vote.ts. All right, we voted for Ivan. Now Ivan will show us a little bit later how to see all of this. There's also real quick, I'm gonna show the tests. So do not forget to write tests for your contracts, all right? It's very important. I know everybody hates it. I used to hate it, but it is important to write tests. And here, yeah, we write them using Chai, and just hard hat makes everything easier for you. And you can use this template for almost all your projects that are related to Solidity. To deploy, just the last step. So we have one deployment, deploy script. This is called the deploy script. To deploy, you can say yarn hard hat deploy and specify the network, which is Metis. And now it will say that it's going to be reusing the old voting token, all right? Or deploy the new one, but no, we can use the old one, wherever it is. All right, this is how you deploy, and that's it. Sorry if I took too long, but you had to learn. How can we switch? Can someone switch to the slides from my screen? All right, great. So that's a live coding session for you. Now, I think Ivan can go now. I will hand it over the mic to Ivan. Thank you very much for joining, and yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Rami. So before I start, could you please tell me how much time do I have for my presentation?
I believe you have about 20 minutes.
20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
20, 25, okay. Thank you. So, hey guys, nice to present to all of you today. Thank you for joining us. So before I proceed with what Parsiq actually does and what we could accomplish with that, could you please write maybe a few words about yourself in the chat, like whether you are a developer or maybe a CTO or maybe an analyst, like what do you do, so that I will be able to specify my presentation and demonstration a bit more to the audience. Yeah, so Parsiq recently partnered with Metis, and we are pretty happy about that. And what Parsiq does is Parsiq brings blockchain data to the user, because as you might know, the blockchain data, it's basically public. It can be accessed through nodes and other things. But basically, to do so, you will need the infrastructure. You will need either your own node or an RPC node access or a data indexer such as Parsiq. So in case you don't want to host all this infrastructure on your own hardware, and in case you need fast and reliable data, you most probably, in search for blockchain data, will go for a data indexer such as Parsiq. So what does Parsiq do? Parsiq provides users who are basically developers or blockchain companies with blockchain data. It includes raw data such as transfers, native transfers, ERC20 and NFTs, transactions, including internal transactions like transactions between smart contracts and between EOA, external addresses as well. It provides information about the events with all the logs and function calls and all the other stuff. Yeah, so we have a question in the chat. Is Parsiq like Alchemy? I would say, yeah, like Alchemy is one of our competitors. And yeah, Alchemy is also a data index. It also provides an API to get the data. What Parsiq does, it brings you the data both historically, in case you need to look at the history of the blockchain of interest, such as Metis, for instance, or it also works in real time. So in case you need notifications or some data to be pushed, let's say, to your dashboard to notify your users, it's also possible, and Parsiq does it via webhooks. And also, Parsiq allows not only working with raw data, such as the data that can be found in the block, but also custom data logic. So let's say you need a balance of a certain wallet for a certain token. You can't find that information in the block or in the transaction. You can find only the information about how much was transferred. So in order to know the actual balance, you will need to go through the whole history of the blockchain, calculate how much was added and subtracted, and after that, you can get the actual balance. This is the simple example. More complicated examples are also available, such as TVLs for pools, or some APYs, or some other examples for your own smart contract and for your own logic, such as an example that we will take a look at today, which is the voting system that Rami just shared. So these are Parsiq technical capabilities, and let's also discuss what it can be used for from the use case standpoint. So a lot of our clients use us to power their graphic interfaces, dashboards with data. So let's say you are a wallet or you are some kind of DeFi protocol. So you want to be able to show your user how much funds they got, what transactions they had, and so on. So this data can be acquired from Parsiq. Another example is getting data in bulk for analytics. For instance, if you want to look for some trading trends, or if you want to analyze the usage of your DeFi protocol, or and so on. And also, it can be used for machine learning. So you can download like a bunch of transactions as a CSV file and feed it to your machine learning scheme. Yeah, also, as I have mentioned, we have real-time data, so we can also power your application with notifications using Parsiq, notifications about certain events or transactions bigger than a certain number or whatever. And also, you can use it as a B2D blockchain explorer, so the same way you're using blockchain explorers in browser to take a look at smart contracts and transactions and so on. the same way you can use Parsiq to explore blockchains from your scripts or from your code and power your code with that data. So yeah, that being said, I believe I can go straight to the technical demo. So please feel free to ask any type of questions in the chat. Also feel free to request some particular use cases. So in case you're, for instance, interested in a specific DeFi pool on Metis chain, or you want to, let's say you have your own smart contract on Metis chain and you want to monitor some events there, please feel free to share that in the chat. We will be happy to share that in our demo. If not, I have examples of my own, and let me proceed with that. Okay, so I will share my screen. Share screen. Entire screen. Share. Okay, and please, yeah, thank you so much. So let us start with a simple example. So this is our API reference. I will give all the links to our docs, to our API reference, to everything in the final slide. So to get just the access to API, we need to go to docs Parsiq, and that's what we do here. So let's take a look at a simple example. So here I have the contract deployed by Rami. And let's take a look at some events here. For instance, we got this first event. So on this blockchain explorer, we don't have the decoded information, such as the names of functions. Still, we have what we need here, which is topic 0. So since we are about to monitor an event, we will need topic 0. But also, since we're going to monitor an event on a particular smart contract, we will need the address of this smart contract as well. So here I'm choosing the chain to work with. So our choice right now is Metis, mainnet, Andromeda. And let me enter the contract address here. And let me also specify topic 0. So to specify topic 0, let me show you this again. This works the same way on Etherscan and other chains. So let's go to, we see this is the page of the smart contract of interest. We see our transactions here. Let's pick this one. And if we go to logs, we will be able to see all the events happening during this transaction, and we will be able to see the topics, including topic 0, which is exactly what we're looking for. So let me put topic 0 here, and let me try it. Yeah, so what I did was I asked Parsiq for all the events with this topic 0 on this smart contract. And here is its response. So it gives us several events. And for each event, it has all the topics, like topic 0, topic 1. It doesn't, these events don't have topic 2, topic 3. It has the transaction hash, block number, timestamp, opcode, the origin of the transaction, and the contract which origin interacted. So yeah, that's how we get the data about events for Parsiq, using Parsiq Tsunami API. And let me show you other endpoints. So what data is available here? We have raw data on blocks, so we can specify, let's say, we can get the latest block, for instance, or we can get a block using block hash. So let's get the latest block on Metis chain. For that, we need to just specify Metis chain. And yeah, in that case, we can get all the raw block data here. Other things that are possible with the Parsiq Tsunami API are transactions. We can see a transaction on a wallet. We can take a transaction by its hash. We can see transaction logs, for instance. Sorry, I misclicked. Yeah, transaction logs. So we can get pretty granular data here, and I don't think other solutions provide more granular data than Parsiq. Basically, Parsiq gives you everything that is on the blockchain. Okay, so also we have transfers, native currency transfers, ERC20 token transfers, NFT transfers. Also, we can monitor contract self-destructs and contract creates. Also, we can upload the API of the contract to get its data in the decoded format. And also, we can get the data in real time. For that purpose, we need to set up real-time filters, and we will get the notifications using webhooks. Yeah, also we got such things as the NFT data lake and balances data lake. And here I will need to dive a bit into what the data lake is. So what I showed you before here, this is raw data accessible via the Tsunami API. And raw data is the data, as I have mentioned previously, in the form in which it is available in the block. So in the block, we have like function calls, events, transfers, and all the other stuff, but we don't have accumulated values such as balances, who holds which NFTs, who got how many votes, and so on. So in order to process accumulated data, we build data lakes. For now, we have two public data lakes, which are NFT data lake, giving information about NFTs like metadata, ownership data, transfers, holdings, and so on. And we got balances data lake, which gives the information about ERC20 tokens, like the balance of the set address or the holders of the set token. But the power of the data lakes is they can be custom. And basically, I would say this is the deepest and the most important part of my today's presentation is our SDK and custom data lake. So obviously, you can just call Tsunami API from your script. You can, for instance, if you're using Python, you can copy paste the resulting query right here, or you can choose any other language as well. But if you want to build a more complicated solution, like let's say in our example, we need to provide the user with the data on voting, and we will need to count these votes and return the number of votes for each candidate to the user in our interface. So for that purpose, we will try to build a data lake using our SDK. So as I have said, I will share the link to our SDK documentation in the last slide. So in case you want to try it yourself, you will be able to do so. But right now, just let me show you how the data lake works for this simple use case. So a data lake is basically a database. So in case you build a data lake using SDK, this database will be hosted on your machine. And right now I will show how it can be done. This database with the logic for the calculations based on the events emitted on the blockchain, it's running on your machine as an application, and it gets all the data from Parsiq Tsunami API. So it calls Tsunami API, gets all the data, and puts it in the database in the form that you specify. So let us talk a bit about what we have here. I believe Rami has already shown the logic of this contract. So we have candidates, we have votes, and we need to know how much votes each candidate has. We will be monitoring these two events, which is a vote event and new candidate event. They have candidate ID, a name, and number of votes, and they correspond to two functions. So in add candidate function, new candidate event is emitted, and in vote function, vote event is emitted. So based on these events, we will monitor which candidate gets how many votes, what number of votes, and we will be accumulating it in our database. Let me show you the code. So you will get the structure of the project and the actual example code in the docs. So don't be scared. I didn't write all that from scratch because basically I'm not that much of a developer. I just copy pasted it and changed it according to the smart contract that I'm working with currently. Let's just go from top to bottom and you will understand what's happening here. So here we just include all the dependencies, make sure you install them correctly. Yeah, also let me share the documentation with you. I believe it should be somewhere here. Yeah, so and let me explain what's happening here. I believe I got like 5 more minutes, and I think it will be enough. So here I import the API of the contract under consideration. So in our case, it's a voting system, JSON. This API, I took it from here, from Rami's repository. You can see it here. And when it says API, from here and to the end of this bracket, you copy paste it, you create a separate file such as voting system JSON, and that way your data lake will know how to interact with your smart contract, what event it has, what event it has, what function it has, and so on. The next thing you'll need is Tsunami API key. And I believe I just disclosed my own private Tsunami API key, so I will definitely change it after this presentation. So how do you get it? You go to your Parsiq dashboard. It can be found here, and the link will be in the last slide. And in order to copy paste it, you just regenerate it, and you will be able to copy paste it here. So that's the next thing we need. Also, we specify the chain, so it might be Ethereum mainnet. In our case, it's Metis mainnet. After that, we specify the data on the contract, such as a contract address and the topics 0 of the events under consideration. And after that, we specify the block from which we want to track the events on this smart contract, because obviously, like if we deployed smart contract yesterday, we don't need to go through all the history of the blockchain. We just need to go from the block when it was deployed. The next thing is, I believe, is one of the most important things here, because it's the layout of our database. So we need to think hard on what we need to put here. Fortunately, our current example is pretty straightforward. So it's simple. It's the candidate ID, which is number, the name of the candidate, which is a string, and the number of votes, which is number again. Just ignore this one for now, because it's like for more complicated examples. After that, we specify the events, the types of events that we will be monitoring, like in terms of our TypeScript script, not in terms of Solidity, because we need to know what data we will be getting from them. And after that, we won't, I did not change this part. So basically, we don't need to discuss it for now. It's just copy pastable. And the next thing to change is to add our topic 0 here of our events. And as you can see, in this switch case, we call different functions for different events. So in case our topic 0 for our event matches the new candidate event, then we go to process new candidate event function, or we go to process vote event function. Yeah, and here This is also more or less standard part, and you won't need to change. And an interesting part is here. So this is our key value storage. So this will be the key, and the key will be the candidate ID of the decoded event. Yeah, only as a string, because a key in this structure must be a string, not a number. And the value will be a structure of this type that will hold the number, which is candidate ID, the name of the candidate, and number of votes. So whenever there is a new candidate event, we create a new record in our database, which key is the candidate ID, and the value is all the information about the candidate with 0 count number of votes, because we just added this candidate. And then when we have a vote event, we describe this logic here. So what happens here is we take the current number of votes and we add the number of votes from the decoded event to the current number of votes, thus calculating the number of votes. I believe I'm running out of time here, but basically I have shown you all the code that I wanted to show, and now let's just make sure that this code works. So let me build it first. Cool. And now let me run Docker that will set up the databases and start scraping blockchain data. So it will start do the historical work starting from the block that I specified. And when it's done with historical data, it will be working in real time, getting the real time. So here you can see the number of block that it's currently working with. As you can see, it's the work in progress, so the number of block changes. Let me go to this database here. So here I have data grid connected to my database created by the data lake. And let's take a look at this table, candidate entities. As you can see, for now it's open. It's empty because the block, we haven't reached the block where the stuff happens yet. So let us wait for, I believe, maybe a minute, and it will go to the block that we need, and it will add the data and show us the count of the votes. Yeah, probably I will need to speed it up a bit. So let me do the following. Let me get the last block here. Yeah, so this will be the number of the block we're interested in. Let me put it here. Let's rebuild the project. And now let's run our data lake again. Yeah, cool. Now let's update it here, and we will see the events happened and being stored in our databases. Okay, yeah, probably we will need to wait a bit more because we haven't reached the block of interest yet. But I don't think we have the time for that now. Rami, do we have like a minute or two, or do we need to go?
Let me
You can
see
extend it like a minute. It's okay.
Okay. So Kat said, yeah, we can have a couple more minutes. hope that's enough.
Yep, it is. It is. I will just run our data lake again to make sure it shows us all the data that we need. So again, I will check the number of the block to make sure I didn't mess up here. So it was this one, right? Okay, and let me run the data lake again. Okay, now we can see that the data lake managed to get all the data correctly. So we have two candidates here. So as you can remember, Rami also added me, but we will see me later when the data lake grabs all the data from the latest block, because now we had just started with on the block where the first of the events were emitted. And you can see what we have here. So first of all, we have the changes that were made. You can see that there were added like Kevin and Rami. And also you can see the current values. So the number of votes for Rami is currently 0, and for Kevin it's currently for 500, I believe, according to the number of zeros. So so let me recap what we were doing here. We were monitoring the events on the smart contract, the new candidate events and the voting events. We added the new candidates to our database. And when we saw a voting event, we updated their number of votes according to this event. And that's basically a super simple example, but it shows us that using Parsiq SDK, you can build whatever blockchain data logic you need. You can set up thresholds, you can set up complicated logic, calculations, all inside of this data lake description, and it will provide you with the data that you need, be it the number of votes, or the APY, or the DevRel, or some values that you want to calculate and show in your dashboard for your own application. At this point, I will stop sharing the screen, and I will ask the colleagues to show the last slide. I mean, the last of my slides.
All right. Oh, here.
Yeah. Great. Thank you, Rami. And so please find the docs. The first link is the one that will lead you to our API reference that I showed you. The second one is about Parsiq on Metis. The third one is the docs for our SDK. So using the third link, you could basically reproduce what I've shown you here with the voting system. And in case you guys have any interest in SDK, and in case you try it, or in case you have any questions about the API, please feel free to contact me in Telegram. So this is my Telegram handle. And basically, I will be super happy about any feedback on the SDK.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ivan. Very awesome presentation. Really love Parsiq always.
Thank you,
so also,
it's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Also, don't forget to claim your attendance badge after 2 days. And the developers Telegram, you can join it. Ask any questions. I will be there. Just ping me, Tom Cruise. That's my handle. The GitHub template. Just take a real quick screenshot of this. It's a very valuable piece. It will be very useful for you. This is what I wrote for helping you to deploy a smart contract on Metis chain. And the Discord, you can join the Discord, but it's always better to be on Telegram. I will be 100% there. Thank you very much. everyone who watched, and thank you, Ivan, so much. Thank you, Parsiq, and sorry for our next hosts. Really wish you enjoyed our tutorial. Hi, Kat. Hey again. All right, kick us out.
All right, awesome. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys walking everyone through how to build on. You guys have a great rest of the day. Thank you guys.
All right, thank you.
All right, up for claims. I'm gonna switch it over in just one moment. So I'll let you guys all do that. And then switching on over name, your badge for Parsiq here, Natalia Hearn, Chicks. I'll get Natalia and Estasia. Are you guys there? All right, Natalia's.
Okay, thank you for
And
that.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Natalia, I don't. You're actually on mute too. But if you'd like, switch over the slide.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, thank you for having us here today. So from the education side, I will just be sharing a bit about what we're currently working on as Cryptochicks on the education side. So we are currently running, it's a next generation program where we're targeting children and youth between the ages of 11 to 18 years old. So Kat, please move the slide. Next slide, please. Okay, you can move on to the next one. Okay, so basically what our program is about. So we recently started working on this program where we're trying to bring technological education to children and youth across Canada. So in September last year, we started working with various schools and individual children across Canada. And basically what we're trying to do, our mission is basically to empower the youth who we see as our next generation, trying to bridge the gap in the education system and try to equip them with some skills that they actually don't get in school. So what we are doing this through our next generation program. Basically, our Cryptochicks Next Generation program is a transformational educational program which we developed together with ICTC, which is the Information and Communication Technology Council. So basically, we bring in education to youth across Canada, and it's all for free. Next one, Kat. Okay, so basically, if you know the history of Cryptochicks, so it was basically founded by Elena and Natalia. So when they began Cryptochicks, the goal behind it was to bring about education to women across the globe, not just women, but also youth, as a way of empowering them. Obviously, in the IT field and in certain fields, we see it's mostly male dominated. So they came together to create Cryptochicks with the goal of actually empowering women in the blockchain technology space. So that's a bit about Cryptochicks. And I'm sure when the Natalia Hearn and Natalia Amelin share, they will provide more information about who Cryptochicks is. Next one, Kat. Okay, so why should you, so if you have any children, if you are a teacher, if you have any children, nieces, nephews, who fit into the age group of 11 to 18-year-olds. We would like to tell them about this program. So please go ahead after today. Please go and share this with people that you know who have kids. Basically, with this program, there's 3 key things. So one of the things is that it's accessible for everyone. So no matter where you are, because it's online, no matter what part of Ontario or Canada you're in, you actually have access to our courses. So this is one of the benefits of joining us. Another thing is we use innovative technology education. So basically, when your kids or whoever comes onto our program, what happens is that we try to teach them current use of technology. So not the old things, but we try to keep it more current. So that's what they'll have when they join us in our program. Another thing, it's customized. So what do we mean by customized? So obviously we work with various age groups, 11-year-olds to 18-year-olds. And obviously what we would teach 11-year-olds could be slightly different from 18-year-olds due to attention span, etc. So what happens is that if you come onto our program, what we do is we'll customize a program specifically for your age group and how you like to learn. So these are the 3 things that would make you actually want to join our program. Next one, Kat. Okay, so basically we're teaching, so this is just a basic overview. All our workshops are free and they're online. So our focus is mainly on 4 programs. I will speak about them shortly. And there's no teaching effort. So if you are a teacher or a parent, we leave you to take the back seat. So you sit in the background, and when you sit there, we do everything. So we plan the lessons, we teach the lessons, we do everything for you. All you need to do is sit back and watch. So there's no teaching effort involved on your end. So our target age is 11 to 18-year-olds, but we have actually worked with children as young as 10 years old as well. And obviously we had to customize it according to that age group. So obviously the goal is to unlock the potential that all these kids and youth have in them. So by joining our program, we're trying to tap into that potential and bring it out more. I see there's a question. When will my, oh, okay, it's a question not for me. Okay, you can move on, Kat. Okay, so with the 4 courses, so we chose to focus on 4 courses. This was based on the interest we got from teachers and some of the children themselves. So 4 of the courses that we focus on, number 1 is graphic design, where we teach them how to create logos and their own brand for their business. So behind all these workshops that we teach, we are trying to teach them from an entrepreneurial mindset. So we're trying to grow the children's mindset, like to think from a business perspective. So when they're thinking on a business perspective, when we look at graphic design, this is where they will speak about, if I have my business, how am I going to create my logo and my brand? So with the graphic design workshop, we help them with this, to be able to create a brand for their business and a logo for their business. The next one would be, we teach them how to build their own website with no coding skills whatsoever. So they don't need to come onto the program having some coding skills, because when we teach them this, it involves no coding at all. So this is, for example, once they have a business, how can they actually create a website or build a website for their business? This is also the same with creating their own mobile application. So we also have a course where it says, create your own mobile application with no coding. So that's also the same. So we try to give them the benefits of why, as a business, they need to put their business onto a mobile application. And then the last one would be, we're trying to help them to be able to manage their finances. So like basic financial literacy. But what we also do is we bring in blockchain 101, the basics of blockchain 101, like what is blockchain? So we just try to give them the basics using a story and case examples. And one of the important things with our course, so for each of these courses, what we do is we have two parts. So the one part is where we just go through theory, so theoretical aspects. So for example, like when you're building your own website, we teach them about what a domain is, what to do with the domain, like what are the characteristics, like when you are creating your website or your domain name, what are the characteristics you need to include. So that's what we do in all of the four. We have the first part, which is theory and basic understanding, and then the fun part is part 2, where we take all this theory that we've learned together, and on part 2 we actually do a demonstration session where the kids follow along our demonstration as we actually build a website together, or create designs, graphic designs together, create a mobile application together. So this is what we normally do. So it's not just about theory, it's also about practice. So we want them to be able to practice and build something at the end of this entire program. Okay, I think I'm done with this page, Kat. Okay, so you can move on. So this is just more details into each of the workshops that I just mentioned. Normally they would run for about 30 to 40 minutes, sometimes 60 minutes. And all this depends, once again, on the age group. So with the older youth or the kids, what we do is it would be longer, because obviously they have more of a greater attention span. So at least we would spend more time there. With the younger ones, it would be at least about 30 minutes based on obviously their engagement and things. So normally our sessions would be 30 minutes to 40 minutes, or sometimes up to 60 minutes. Okay, Kat, you could move on. You could move on for all these. So this is just more information about the courses that I just mentioned. Okay, and okay, so this is just information about us. So it's mostly two of us who teach this. My colleague Alice and myself, Eustacia. We are the two main instructors for this program. Next one, Kat. Okay, so far we've taught more than 370 children across Canada, and they've completed more than 25 of our workshops. And currently we've reached to more than 14 schools, up to like maybe 20 schools now. And the plan is to reach more kids and more schools before the end of this year. Next one, Kat. Okay, so this is just some of the, we had some feedback, obviously, from some of the teachers. One more slide back, Kat, sorry. So this is just basically some feedback from some of the teachers that we worked with. And one of the comments that they said was the engagement, how they liked how we got the kids engaged. So it's not just about us talking and the kids listening, but what we try and do with this program is we try to get the kids involved as well. So through asking questions, making them contribute in the workshops. Thank you, Kat. Next one. Okay, so how do you join? So what we do, normally we have a registration form where you can just fill it out. And once you fill out this form, we will be able to contact you, obviously to discuss your child's learning needs. And then from there, we build a schedule together. Next one, Kat. Next one. So this is just the form. So where we will ask for your basic details, your name, the age of your child, what school they go to, what province they go to. So that's basic information that we would need. Kat, next one. That is it. Okay, thank you. I know I had put one with a barcode, but it doesn't seem to be, okay, yeah, I have an updated one with a barcode. So if you have any questions, obviously, regarding our program, we would definitely be happy to speak to you more about it. You can send us an email. Our email address is provided. Stay in touch at cryptochicks.ca. And we will be very happy to get in touch with you and tell you more about the program, and hopefully get your nieces, your nephews, your children all signed up for our next generation program. Thank you so much. I'm sorry for the rush. I just needed to make sure the next person has time as well to do their presentation. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. Insanely important, because as we further and further into blockchain and the Internet of Things, learning to code, starting in for anyone that you may know who is still wants to get further into the blockchain. Natalia, did you have anything to say? Okay. Awesome. Go.
Sorry, I didn't. Did you hear about? What did you say? Because you cut out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just had any words or anything.
Absolutely, yeah. So, we have a number of programs as Cryptochicks we're running, and Stacy just talked about one of the recent programs that are focused on schools and kids and education, and but that's one of the things that Cryptochicks does. We have the programs range from meetup courses to helping start off your ideas through hackathons, to continue your ideas after hackathons in the Cryptochicks Hatchery, which basically allows you to build up your ideas to take it to an accelerator or get funded for the projects that you're working on. So that's we kind of baby step you through 0 to 10, and then from 10 to 100, we give you avenues to take it further. And even with the school programs that Stacy was talking about, now right now we are testing it. We're testing it in Canada. The courses that we provide to the schools and kids is free because it's supported by the Canadian government, federal government grant that allows all this to happen. But then how do we scale it? And so we have been globally, I mean, Cryptochicks doesn't only have chapters in Canada, it has chapters all over the world, and we're growing. So how do we implement the programs that we have, not just in one location, but in many locations? And how do we make the implementation of what we're doing relevant to, everybody who is really aware of blockchain, and we just build up kind of the women, the youth demographic to the areas where many people are unbanked. Education is yes.
Sorry,
Education
we're
is
just
not
running a little bit.
I can't hear you.
Sorry.
Am I cutting out? I don't know, maybe this one. Am I
No.
cutting out?
No, we're just.
Okay. All right. Sorry. I'm not getting you clear. Anyway, so I'm not sure if we're running low on time or you can't hear me. But all I'm saying is that we have a much wider breadth of what we're offering. Everything from introductory courses to taking you through to launching your business or your business idea and helping it run on a blockchain, and providing not only technical support, educational support, but also financial support.
Cool. Thank you so much, Natalia. I'm going to be moving on to the next. Thank you, guys. All right. wrong place. Sorry, guys. We will bring forward Matt Locke and Natalia Ameline. I will be the moderator. Hi.
Doing great, thanks.
Hello, hey, everyone.
Hello. Hi, guys.
Hey. For some reason, I don't have the graphic for the panel. I'm just gonna go to the first slide. Have you all here? Again, my name is start off the panel conversation. So I'm funding your startup. Please welcome Ameline, Matt Lockyer, and KJ. Experience in guiding the product in startups effectively. So let's, Elena, I'm gonna call on you first to conversation.
Hey, Kat. So who should go first?
Oh, sorry. I called on.
Okay, I can go ahead. So hello, everyone. I'm Elena Obukova. I'm co-founder of Supermoon. I'm coming from quant finance background with experience in marketing. So I had been working, helping businesses to grow and scale. I used my career journey actually started in Asia. I had been working with multiple VC funds from Asia, from Silicon Valley, helping them to grow and develop new financial models that will help to make VC industry more liquid. I also advised our United Nations in the past on how to use blockchain technology for financial inclusion, and had built a consulting company. Now I'm a founder of Supermoon. We're a community of founders, builders, and investors, and we help talented individuals to grow, scale, and get access to all necessary resources. We also organize a lot of impactful events where we gather a different audience, starting again from founders and builders, and of course, investors. We heavily focus on in-person relationships, and the keyword here is relationships. We believe that when people start knowing each other better, trusting each other, that's when the real growth and collaboration begins.
Both ladies first for now. So Natalia, go ahead and.
Good choice. Hello, everybody. My name is Natalia Amelin. My background is in computer science, business, finance, and investment. And I spent over 20 years working in these sectors. I was following blockchain industry for a while. And back in 2016, I co-founded the Cryptochicks together with my long-term friend, Elena Sinelnikova. Cryptochicks, you just saw the presentation, is a nonprofit focusing on technology and education for women and children. We also help aspiring female leaders to start their businesses through our incubator, Cryptochicks Hatchery, where we provide a framework, mentorship, and guidance to young projects to grow into successful businesses. Most recently, I've been also part of Team Metis, where I'm part of the MetisDAO Foundation. I'm not sure if you know, but actually Metis started out as part of the Cryptochicks and has been incubated in Cryptochicks Hatchery, and now grown into a vibrant ecosystem of interconnected businesses, which we call EcoNodes, which are represented by our Smart L2 EcoNode, which is Ethereum scaling solution, Nuvo, which is our privacy-based credentials and identity framework. Also Koris, which is the EcoNode that allows brands to scale and automate creator revenue. And ZKM, our most recently launched EcoNode, which introduces the zero-node proof solution for hybrid rollup. And finally, we also have Yuan X, which is focusing on our Asian markets and helping with advancing our blockchain technologies there. We also have a few more EcoNodes incubating, so we're super excited about that. Thank you very much.
And then let's say KJ.
Hey, thanks, Kat. This is KJ from MIPS Labs, and we are based in the Bay Area, actually it's in Silicon Valley, and I manage a Web3 fund and incubator in the Valley. We help the very early stage founders to grow, invest the money, help them connected with the exchange and other funds and other experts, whatever they need, the layer ones. So that's what we do. Yep, thank you.
Thanks for being here, guys. Just for a little bit of clay all together, whoever wants to go first. So,
what about Matt?
Oh, I'm so sorry, Matt. I when you joined, but I forgot.
I see you.
Go ahead and
Thank you.
introduce yourself, please.
I appreciate the shout out, KJ. Yeah, so I'm Matt. I've been in the Near ecosystem for 3 years. Before that, I was in the Ethereum ecosystem. I've met Natalia and Elena in person, probably several times now. So been around for a while. And I'm also the founder of a project called Keepon. So you can go check us out at keepon.xyz. Basically what we've done is we wrapped up like a lot of common use cases that people want to do with crypto, like drop NFTs, do NFT ticketing, do all sorts of like fun drops, subscription payments, streaming payments. And we basically deliver that to developers in one line of code, and we deliver that to users in one link. So basically you click a link, you get an ephemeral kind of key pair and wallet, and you basically just click through to the experience. So there's no wallet to set up, nothing, and that's how Keepon works. Yeah, we're sort of in the pre-wallet market.
I'm so sorry again about that, Matt.
No problem.
Okay. Go, guys. What is the typical process of their product? They have their founding team.
I can start. One of the comments I have about that is I think it's very important to start early. By that, I mean that I've seen in my experience startups starting to look for investors when they're already ready for fundraise. I think it puts a lot of pressure to do the fundraise and kind of in a crunch time. I think what should be done is you should be, as an aspiring startup, really looking to build relationship with the investors that you are targeting over the time before you start the fundraise. So when the fundraise starts, you are ready and you can approach them as opposed to just trying to do your research and looking for the investors, right? And I think it's also very important for you to focus on and have a good understanding of what type of investor you need, because not every type suits every single startup. For example, if you're a very early stage startup, some VC funds may not be interested because they're traditionally looking for more established projects with already revenues in place so that they can check out financials, see your track record, etc. So, in your case, maybe the investors that are more suited for you would be the so-called angel investors, or even looking at incubators, which can be a good venue to bounce the ideas and business types, and with help with the structures that is more suitable for the early stage startups. That is some of observations that I have in terms of the starting point and who to look for.
I think it's also important for projects to remember that it's hard to go to investors in cold, and it's hard to build relationships and create a trust. So investors prefer to always meet with founders. They want to know who you are, because they're not investing in your project. Your idea doesn't matter that much as your founding team, because they want to know that you are as a person who's capable of building and scaling this project. So two ways how you can approach it. One way, you can go ahead, try to meet as many investors as possible at the events, but be smart. I agree with Natalia that you have to do your own research, do your homework, and find out what investor might be a good fit for you. Then go ahead and try to meet with them at the event. Try to establish relationship, try to establish a meaningful connection. Second way how you can approach it is look for portfolio companies of investors that you're interested in. Look for these portfolio companies, see if there is any room for collaboration, or maybe just ask them for feedback on how they secured funds from this investor. This strategy works really well, and if portfolio company can introduce you to investor, you are no longer coming to this fund and cold. You're already establishing an initial connection that comes through people they trust. So try to be a little bit more creative when it comes to your round. Don't spam investors, don't send them long emails. They don't have time to read it. Try to find a way how you can get connected and have a conversation, not necessarily about your project, maybe about another topic, but establish this first connection when they will actually care or remember you.
Yep, I have like two advices for the entrepreneurs. So first, as a VC, we look at like 3 T's at the very beginning: team, tech, traction. So Kat, you just mentioned about the team. You have your team, right? You have a tech, which means you have a product or project ready. And what about the traction? So if we are in the bull market, you don't have the traction. You just have a team. You don't even have the product. You can raise some money. Now we're talking about the bear market. You must have traction. So how to get traction? Working with the layer ones, working on the betas, building a community, the Twitter followers. You have to have traction. I cannot imagine any VC gonna invest in any Web3 project without any traction, unless you are like a serious entrepreneur and or you just have super fancy background. You don't have traction. Otherwise, you must have traction. So that's my first advice. And the second advice is about the networking. So I'm very great with. I really agree with the ladies just that you need to connect with the VCs. But there's the things you cannot do. You cannot do cold reach out. Don't cold reach out to VC by email or LinkedIn. So instead of doing the cold reach out, you should be an opinion leader in your own industry. Say you are building the wallet, you are building the Web3 games, Web3 social. You need to spread out your thoughts on Twitter or go to the events, be the speaker. So for example, I talked to one project at an event. So during like 10 minutes conversation, the founder, he told me so much information and I learned so much from him. And then I scheduled a call with him myself and started to learn more about his thoughts, his insights, and also learn more about his project. So eventually we invest in this project. After a few conversations, invest in his project. And also I referred him to a lot of my investor friends. Why? Because he is opinion leader. He really knows what he's doing. He didn't sell me his product, but he sold me his insights. So I think that's the key for some of the entrepreneurs, maybe.
Yeah, it's all super good advice. That last point that KJ made is really kind of pertinent. Is like obviously as a founder, like you should love your space and you should know exactly what you're doing. Just one kind of tangible thing to add, because everything is kind of like virtual and eventually intros will be made. I think like just tactically and tangibly, like boiling down your startup and actually creating like a super simple overview of what it is that you do and where you're at and what your current like kind of traction and metrics are and where you're headed in a deal memo or something like really, really short and clean for investors that just gets the light bulb to turn on, like gets the light switch to flick, is really number one. So you can basically get all the intros you want and align with particular investors, but if they don't understand what you're doing from just reading sort of a very short kind of like paragraph or a couple of sentences, that can be really challenging. So just keeping all of your material, super short and super tight and super clean can be super helpful in just finding out the right type of investors that you want to have those conversations with and align with and build relationships with.
I wanted to add a little bit on, Kat. No, I just wanted to add on KJ's and Matt's point about traction. I think KJ, what you mentioned is absolutely right. I like the 3T approach. That's most common for investors. But what I think a lot of founders don't understand when it comes to traction, they don't understand what traction actually means. A lot of entrepreneurs spending time and resources on building as big as possible their MVP to get as many users as possible, and sometimes they're losing direction. Sometimes they're generating users that are not going to return to a platform because obviously they were still doing beta testing. And one also important thing to keep in mind is to try to build small, try to build your initial test run. Whatever you're trying to achieve in the long term, try to understand what is the core. What is the core technology you're building here? Let's say if it's a ticketing platform, focus on the ticketing side. Don't try to add so many other business models that you don't need at the beginning, and try to test and show the product market fit. If you're showing the product market fit, investors will look at your project from a different angle. They will see that you have customer feedback, that you already got returning customers. That's also a very good sign. And you didn't spend a crazy amount of resources building a project. You don't even know if it's going to work or not. So try to build smaller, try to focus on the core technology, on your core business model. Try to test it out, find your product market fit, and then go for a bigger round.
Awesome. I'm interrupting the panel just a little bit. I know that my microphone, Nat Deliska from the layer. You have my script.
I don't think that your microphone is coming through. It's not coming through from me.
No, for me either.
Hey Nat, are you the new moderator? I can be the moderator.
I don't think Nat's audio is hooked up. So
yes.
I don't think she can hear us or we can hear her. I can't hear her.
Yeah, Nat, we can't hear you, and I probably still.
You do.
Yeah, all the time for the last 50 minutes. But it's good.
Terrible.
I was thinking
Nat,
it was
go
your
ahead
AI replacement.
I know, right? But okay. Your microphone again.
Kat, if you want, we can go ahead with the topic and have a discussion.
Yeah.
If not, I don't know, what is your plan?
Yeah, why don't we just continue with the chat, because it looks like we're having some technical issues with our moderators. I want to kind of piggyback on what Matt was saying as well about the importance of having a concise pitch, because you never know, like I almost feel like for me, I always tell that a team needs to have several types of pitches. One is what is traditionally known as an elevator pitch, where, if you met an investor in elevator, you can tell him in 1 minute what is it your project is about and get him excited, right? Secondly, it will be more extended pitch if you are at the conference and your opening line got his attention or her attention, and you can continue going from there. And finally, when you do a final pitches, like actual pitches, official to VCs, that is more extended pitch where you need to have your team with you so that the questions can be answered if they come up. I think to add to the pitches, I think it's actually by itself, pitch is a very important topic. So I would like just to add a little bit to that. And maybe after that, you guys can contribute to, in your experience, what was good, what was bad. So I think one of the very important parts of the pitch is actually have your information, or if you don't have it in your possession, have the other team members with you, because nothing is putting investors more off as if you couldn't answer the question and you also don't have it there. Of course, you can say, I'll get back to you, I will send a follow-up note. But it always leaves me with a question in my mind: does the person actually understand or know the business, and do they understand the importance of having a strong team which is built of individuals who can provide the backup? Because like what I see sometimes is the team is a team of techies. So you have 3 guys, 1 girl, or whatever the combination is, but they're all technologists and they're super excited about the project. But one thing we should not forget, you guys should not forget, is that getting a great idea is very different from actually building it out into successful business. And it's a very different skill set to take the idea and convert it into the business. So you do need to think at the time when you actually start thinking about who your co-founders will be, what your team is going to look like. Please do think about what are the key skill sets which you are missing. It's not bad if you're missing skill sets. We cannot all have knowledge of everything. It's actually very good if you can assess yourself and say, hey, I really suck at marketing, so I need someone who can do the marketing for me.
That's right, because we hate to say the perfect entrepreneur, because there's no perfect entrepreneur. So the investor don't just give you money and also give you support. So you could be like, just like you mentioned, you could be very like tech driven and we can provide business support, or you need some other tech expert to support on some aspects. So I think the investor is not just providing the money, but actually providing more support, go through from maybe 1 to 10 or 5 to 20, something like that.
When I look at the founder, I always ask them why they're building it. I want to know their story. I want to know where this pain is coming from. And I want to feel this pain, because if someone has this pain, they're going to be passionate. They're going to be doing everything they can to achieve this goal. One of my friends, investors, also was bringing up to my attention, hey, I always prefer to see that a startup founder actually failed at least a few startups before. And back in the days, I didn't really, I didn't really realize it from that perspective. And I was asking him why. And then he explains that, of course, if you fail a startup, you have a very expensive and priceless lesson that you're going to use while you're building your next startup. And if you fail 2 or 3 startups, you have so much of experience that you're going to bring together into your new project, and you're going to build a project that is so scalable and maybe potentially unicorn. So some people are looking for founders who failed, or some people looking for founders with an interesting story. I know funds investing in founders who are immigrants and coming to country with nothing, because they also know they're going to work hard. But I think one of important things that combines them all is working hard. So through this experience, you can actually see that someone will put all their efforts, all their life into this project. And that kind of founder you want, a founder who is hardworking. This person might not be the most experienced, or this person might not be the smartest, but this person will outwork anyone else to build this project. So I think that's what a lot of investors are looking, and that's what I see they're looking in common, even if they're using different strategies.
I want to go back to one sort of real tangible thing about pitching that I think could help a lot of founders. Making your pitch interactive. So basically, like even if you're just kind of on a 3-minute pitch or a 5-minute pitch, just asking a question and sort of getting a response from people can really help. Especially if you're doing a one-on-one pitch, like if you have 15 minutes with a VC, because asking a question and getting them to actually think through and put themselves in that scenario, like, have you ever gone to a DApp? You clicked a link to a DApp, and you've seen like basically a blank page and a connect your wallet button, or like a block native wallet selector. That's a question that I ask for KeepOn all the time, because we're basically solving that problem. We're putting users instantly into the DApp, and we're getting rid of the whole connect your wallet, select your wallet, create a wallet step. So I ask that question because everyone's felt that. And so once I get a feeling from a venture capitalist and I get them to actually feel the problem that we're solving, it actually resonates with them a lot more. So the conversation gets a lot richer, gets a lot more interesting, because we're all on the same page. We're all feeling the same thing. But if I just told them that that's what we're solving, if I change the pitch and I say, hey, this is what KeepOn's solving. When you land on a DApp and there's a connect your wallet screen, we're just skipping over that. That's what we're solving. Then, like, we haven't actually kind of centered the conversation around a feeling of annoyance or frustration around connecting a wallet and how kind of weird and sort of invasive that feels, and how bad that is for new users. So by asking the question and letting it just sit for a bit and letting the VC kind of get their brain to a time that they've seen that screen, because I don't know when they've seen that screen. I know they have, but I just don't know when, and I don't know what they felt when they did. If I get them there, if I get that feeling and we just sort of sit there for just an extra 5 seconds, the rest of the conversation flows so much more naturally, because we're all on the same page. We all want to solve the same problem for crypto and for adoption. So that's one thing, is like turn your pitch into an interactive thing. Find a way to get the VC you're talking to see the same problem or to feel the same problem. It's really effective to make it like interactive.
Great. I think we're close to the end of the panel. Maybe if we can just give the final thoughts to our listeners.
I can go first. So the final thought is gonna be, this is a bear market. The market is really bad. So even you don't risk big money, don't feel frustrated. Everybody, just suffering during the bear market. So what you can do for right now, actually just go to the hackathons, right? So Hack to the Future, that's a great place. Win some prize. There's a lot of hackathons in the space. Win some grants, build your connections, make more friends, and stop hiring expensive like meta layoffs. Like just build something yourself and go to the layer ones. Get their grants, things like that, make you survive, during the bear market, and believe in what you do and solve the problem. That's a big thing, and everything gonna get back or get better, when the bull market comes back. So now we're just suffering, and just keep working on the stuff you're building. Yeah,
that's great. Great advice. Matt, Elena, do you have any final words?
Go ahead, Elena.
Okay. Yeah, I feel a little bit opposite from what KJ said. I feel now is actually a perfect opportunity to build and find the right investor, because there's less noise. We've been organizing startup days during the bear market, and I actually saw way more serious conversations happening and way more serious deals. So startups with founders who are here for long term, who are building great tech, who are focused on their target audience, who know how to sell it and present their project to their target audience, are getting so much attention from serious VCs. For example, during our last startup day, projects were getting 8 introductions on average with top tier VCs. So it's a perfect opportunity are to build and find the right fit for your project right now during the bear market, because no matter what everyone else is saying, this is a builder's market where projects create meaningful solutions, not chasing the hype, and serious VCs know about it. And that's why they're hunting for projects that are going to make an impact long term. So good luck, continue building, and focus on the long-term vision. Forget about hype. Hype will never bring you enough attention, and you will never build anything meaningful. Focus on the long term, focus on the tech, and create a solution for a real world problem.
Yeah, one kind of last sort of, again, like a real tactical bit is if you were focusing on the crypto market, obviously it is a bear market, and everyone in crypto is feeling that. But maybe if your first few customers came from the crypto market because you're like an infrastructure project or something like that, maybe it's time to just not change or pivot or do anything radical, but to focus on new entrants to the crypto market. I mean, we've seen announcements like PayPal announcing their stable coin and a few other things. I mean, maybe it's time to kind of shift your focus towards sort of the new entrants to the crypto market, and sort of getting kind of out there a little bit more in the Web 2 kind of territory. Web 2 companies turning Web 3. That's sort of like an interesting place to play. Especially in a bear market, because we know that the Web 2 market is just so much bigger than the Web 3 market. So if you're struggling to kind of get traction, get numbers, just turn your eyes a little bit outward from crypto Twitter, outward from just Web 3 projects. Maybe try to expand who the audience of your product would be just a bit. Not advocating that anyone goes crazy and just starts building SaaS businesses and change their product completely. I'm just saying, like, maybe you should focus on who's Web3 curious, and you should maybe like try to get traction and sell into those markets, because there's a huge wide world out there outside of just Web3 companies that could be your customers.
Thank you very much, everyone on the panel. Great advice. I hope it will be taken to heart, and you guys who listened found it useful. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us on LinkedIn. Don't forget to scan and claim your badge as well. And we are passing it on back to the moderator to continue with the event. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for the time.
Thanks so much. Can you hear me?
Thank you.
Confirm. Hello, hello. Kat, you're on mute.
Enjoy those facial expressions, guys. I was saying me.
Okay. So sorry for this technical difficulties from Kat's side. Nonetheless, great job. Thank you so much for hosting. This was an amazing workshop, amazing panel. I learned a lot. I hope you guys took notes, because if you did, you're good to go with your successful projects from start to finish. So thank you very much for joining our Hack to the Future journey. And we hope to see you at next events and all the hackathons that Metis ecosystem and our EcoNodes will be participating in. Yes, fill out this survey. Here is the QR code. You can get a chance to win a Metis airdrop, and you can get a chance to win best smart contract. If you followed Rami's workshop, you followed his advice, you can participate in this contest. So follow up with this survey, make sure to fill out, and also help us to grow and improve. We will really appreciate your answers. Also, what else? Oh, next week we have ETHToronto and Futurist Conference. So make sure to be ETH Conference, Futurist Conference, and Hackathon, obviously. And Hackathon on August 15th and 16th. next week. Be in Toronto. See us, meet us, find us. Metis has been always a major supporter, and also of Untraceable and their annual Toronto-based conference. Also, we'll be participating in DevConnect Hackathon in Istanbul, Turkey, November 13, 19th. So mark those dates. Istanbul, amazing city. Make sure to be there. Stay tuned for where we'll be at and what you might be able to take advantage as a builder for DevConnect. DevConnect, very important conference for all developers out there. So yeah, we hope this program serves you as a foundation point for anything that you would like to create. We wish you all the best luck. We are here to help you, as you can see. Yeah, so thank you so much again. Take some time to fill out this survey. Again, sorry if you have issues with collecting your badge. Take a screenshots and well, they should be able, we need just to update the system, and they should be able to claim. Yeah, and that's it. Thanks for joining. I was happy to join at the very end, but I was in the backstage all the way. Great workshop. I hope you liked it as well. Till the next one.